Hi, everyone. So today I'm going to be on here with Jess, True Crime, or Crime Time with Jess, and Gloria and Dylan. We're going to talk about the Chase Venstra clearing, the information on that. I'm going to show a news clipping from ABC4 News that confirms that Chase was cleared. Oh, Gloria and Dylan's here.
From ABC4 News that confirms that Chase.
Oh, I can hear myself in the background. Can you mute that?
I got it off.
All right. And then we're just waiting for Jess.
Okay.
I did get like a little snippet from the ABC4 News thing from yesterday about Chase being cleared.
Yeah.
Don't you feel vindicated?
I do, but certain somebody is saying that's still hearsay because Candice doesn't have her conversation with the FBI on video or audio.
Oh.
So,
I'm going either way.
What does it take? I mean, a press conference is going to be written off as a bunch of crisis actors at this rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, in my opinion, I mean, if Candice met with law enforcement, as it was featured on the news yesterday, and they said that Chase is not a person of interest, then that, in my opinion, is enough. Oh, Jess is in here. But we already believed you anyways. We didn't have no reason to doubt what you were saying.
Well,
there's a big echo. Is it me?
I'm not sure. Let me try turning off.
Yes, it's you. She muted already. I'm muted on the.
Okay, let me try turning off the fan.
Yes, it's you. She muted.
No, it's me.
This happens almost every time. It's one of us. We leave it open.
It's always me. It's always me. I promise.
Almost every time. It's one of us. We leave it open. Oh, I still hear it.
Let's see. Wave if it goes away. I'll mute mine and see.
Yep, that's good.
Grandma's probably like face palming. Like, why did I buy her this mic and this stuff? There's still freaking audio issues. Grandma, I'm trying to get better. I promise. Like, I don't know. I have issues, but anyway. What were you guys saying?
Platform out either. We have technical difficulties every time. Like, I thought I was live and I couldn't even see myself on the screen last time. So I had to close it out and then like private it and then start a new one. And then the link,
we lasted 35 seconds, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But apparently I was on mute and my camera wasn't on because I don't know how to use this platform. So
this is your first time on StreamYard. Maiden voyage, okay?
And I'm so nervous every time I go live. So I stutter a little bit.
I don't know why. You're great at this. You are. People like you, and they should. Like, there's a reason I like you. There's a reason I like Glory. You guys are truthful people. You guys, there's Tyler ripping open the garage, but I'm trying to look like I'm in a faraway place, babe. You're not helping that. But anyway,
obviously you're there at Montello with the sunset in the background.
That's where I'm at, Glory. If I can move, yeah, I really like the dirt road. Like, I don't know. Everybody likes this. I feel like I'm out in that area. Everybody's sick of seeing me in the garage. I'm Benny Keysing it too much. Like, he's even got out of the garage at this point. So,
And I'm in my master bathroom. Like, sometimes when we do a live, my husband's trying to sleep. So... Or my dog will be up here with us and he's like in the background snoring. I'm like, oh my goodness. But this is like the most quiet place in my house, aside from my husband sleeping in the background sometimes when we go live.
Has no one spoke in the chat, or is it just like lagging for me?
I see Grandma's comments.
I don't see any. Oh, I'm looking at private chat. That's why. Oh, there is Grandma. Hi, Grandma. Oh, she loves your curly hair, Synthia. Listen, I'm telling you, I think that's the best move you made. Like, really. Like, as soon as I seen it, I was like, okay, my girl, this girl is on fire.
Well, it's funny because I was straightening my hair because my hair is naturally curly, but it frizzes out really quickly. So it's just easier to straighten it. recently, though, I figured out a new hair technique that causes my curls to stay bouncy. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, so Glory Dellin, the Chase Venstra.
Yeah.
You're the beach.
Went to court the other day, and they told him the charges. They said that maximum penalty of 10 years and $250,000 fine. And he asked how he pled, and or if he was going to enter a plea, and he said not guilty. And they said that got the wrong notebook here. Wendy Lewis would be his court appointed lawyer. She used to be with the federal version of the public defender's office, but now she's in private practice. But for the hearing or for his proceedings, she would be acting as the court appointed. So she's not getting paid privately; she's getting paid by the government. And
I did look up the documents, and I did see that myself, that Wendy was named his new attorney. So whatever the other people were saying when you were on there, and they were like, oh, yeah, she doesn't even know who his attorney is. I verified that.
They didn't listen to me because they were saying, oh, she said that, public defender. I said, no, she's acting. She used to be the federal version of the public defender, but she's in private practice, but she's been appointed by the court to act as such. So, they weren't listening very closely to what I said. Well,
you're here. You can say whatever you need to say without anyone interrupting you or cutting you off or being rude.
Yeah. So let's see. Then it was pretty much procedural stuff. They said, well, will there be a motion for discovery? Yes. We'll give you a week to take care of that. Motions for the case by, a certain day in this, I can't remember now, September, and that it would be a 3-day trial and jury selection and various dates. So, October 3rd is the trial date. If it doesn't get postponed, which it almost always does. And so that, and then he brought up the subject of custody and said that Judge Wells had bound him over for trial. And so he had no authority to revisit the issue. So no possibility of getting bail for him. And then they adjourned, and so then I scurried out following the assistant U.S. attorney, and I asked, excuse me, can I ask you a couple of questions? And sure, and so I said in the charging documents, it cites a search warrant and says that it was in connection with a homicide, and wanted to get some clarification because we know that he's a person of interest in Dylan Round's disappearance, but Dylan isn't, he's officially a missing person, not deceased, and so could get some clarification on that. And he sidestepped.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
Getting clarification, because unlike James Brenner's court documents and Chase Venstra's, they did not name Dylan or who the homicide that they were looking into was. No. Have you played the Candice Cooley's thing, Synthia?
No, I haven't.
Because what Glory said, was it yesterday? My days run together. Yesterday or the day before, with talking to the district attorney.
Yeah.
And them telling Glory that Chase Venstra, not a person of interest.
Yeah. And he brought that
come
up.
out.
he brought that up without prompting. He said that he couldn't speak to it, and to me that was, we've got a pretty good idea that the search warrant is sealed, and so I don't think he can speak to it. But then he volunteered that as far as he knows, Chase Venstra is not a person of interest any longer.
Right.
I kind
So
of-
with what Candice released or was on the news today with saying that, or where was this, Synthia? Where
It
she
was,
said that.
yesterday on ABC4 with
Okay.
Marcos Ortiz.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we gonna play that?
Yeah, I'll play it right now.
Okay.
Afternoon,
So-
Dylan's mother met with an FBI agent on this very same issue and was told that Vinstra has never been part of this investigation and that the search warrant was misconstrued. Bottom line, Vinstra's been cleared. For missing
I just did like the tail end of it.
Yeah, I mean, those words are. Is there any footage of Candice on that, or is it just Marcus?
There is at the beginning of it, but that was just her talking about how she thought that Chase was involved.
Well, no, she does say that she I'm not sure if she met in person or she talked to him on the phone. I think it. Anyway, they told her at this meeting that Chase,
With the FBI, correct?
yeah, with the FBI, that Chase was never a person of interest. That the
So basically, she was sat down and told Chase is not a person of interest, and he never
Yeah.
was.
yeah
And this was recently.
that was yesterday on Marcus said it was going to be on the 5 o'clock news.
And here it is. Okay.
And even the Dylan Round's family Facebook page, they said something similar yesterday. There was a post about it saying that he obviously, just like James Brenner, if he were involved, law enforcement would have already put a statement out to that effect. And that hasn't happened. So that should be indicative of what's going on.
Yeah, and that's pretty much why yesterday we did speak about Chase Venstra's ex and what she said, but also that he's not being named as a person of interest and released, well, at least I read them off, his text messages. So you sort of get to see his side of what he alleges. And then we know from Glory and from Candice, allegedly, that he's not a person of interest. Now, Glory, with your paralegal experience, that is subject to change, potentially. Yes, no?
Well, yes, if suddenly somebody comes out with a video showing him in glorious technicolor, that he killed him, they're going to say, oh, well, gee, we can't charge him because we already said that he's no longer a person of interest. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to say, oh, we've got new evidence. And so, it's subject to change, but they really aren't looking for him. They don't have anything that is really drawing them his direction at this point.
Yeah, it's frustrating because, the main people surrounding Dylan, involved with Dylan, every single one of them, except for, I'm going to say Don, because we don't exactly know, violent histories with their families, with all of that. But there's one person named. And I'm going to go ahead and say this, that with the people in the know with this case, mainly people that have talked to a lot of people behind the scenes, whether we like each other or not, or agree or not, we all agree on one thing, is just that from everything that we know, this does not look like a one-man thing. Could it be? Absolutely. And if the feds go that direction and he's convicted, then it is what it is. But from what I know, Synthia, other people that I don't necessarily affiliate with, hi Jim, we do all agree that this wasn't a one man show.
Yeah, no, I agree. And, we have speculated in the background, not on YouTube, about who the other people, if there are more people involved,
Yep.
could be. But it's definitely like a major change in all of this, because Chase has been a primary topic of discussion.
Day one.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes. And a lot of the locals have been saying that he had something to do with it. And then those text messages yesterday that we did on your live, or that we reviewed on your live from Chase, it was really interesting because he was saying he was being framed. And now we have this, and it's like, well, what does that say? There is a potential it could change, just like Gloria Dillon said. But as of right now, he's not involved.
Now,
So-
one thing somebody brought up saying that makes it so that it was not Dylan that they were referring to as the homicide. And yes, that's an excellent point, because it may be that there is another homicide out there that we don't know about that he's implicated in. And I know from talking to Chase's ex that there was a day in April where he called her freaked out and asked her to come down and get him out of town real quick. And she made a 1,000-mile round trip to come and get him in the middle of the night and get him out of there. And
Yeah,
he was really
1,000 miles
Yes.
there and back. Can I interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Modest Man is asking Synthia, like my job as co-host on your channel. I know you're focusing on the show. I'm looking at the chat. Modest Man is saying, are you not monetized? We want to send cash for your hard work. She is not monetized. And the reason that she is not monetized is because you need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and 4,000 watch hours. So no, that has not happened yet. Do I think this person needs those 1,000 subscribers? Absolutely. She's great at what she does. If you would like to do that, totally up to you. It seems like you do. Synthia does have a Cash App. Synthia, I know I'm speaking on your behalf. You're probably cringing inside as I say this, but no joke. Glory, you could probably attest to this, but Synthia has spent her own money on court documents and things like that. They're not free, and she has done that. If you would like to, put your Cash App in. I don't have access to the chat, Synthia.
I'm also comfortable putting it in the comment section.
I can already tell that she's like cringing because she's taking a drink, and I see her super white cheeks turning red. It's okay. Like
it's so weird because like Jess had the same feeling.
People
and I was
appreciate
like,
the
yes,
information
work
and they
into it.
appreciate the work, honestly.
Yeah. So I feel like we've both been trying to like tell each other how much work we've put into it, but like when it comes to talking about it ourselves, it's really awkward.
It gets awkward. Yeah, because you're like
I'm over here moving my hands like this. I'm already doing like the Ricky Bobby, like what do I do with my hands?
Yeah. Definitely. Man hands, Jim. We talked about this. It's just the length of the camera, Jim. Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say no. So if you guys do want to like donate, I think my Cash App is in my about section, but I don't feel comfortable posting it in the comments.
Well, I'm going to do that for you. You can hate me. So
Now, one thing
because you've been such an asset, and quite frankly, like this is gonna sound selfish, but I've wanted like a person to work with for so long. Like everything I did on my channel, I did by myself. And like and Glory as well, but you're definitely one of like the first people that I truly trusted, Synthia, to share information with, to go live with, and I'm really picky about people. So, you know,
Same here.
I'm looking for your cash app and I can't find it for some
time.
reason.
You know,
Yeah.
if they want to help to get the 4,000 hours, she's got a whole bunch of videos. Just go take and click on a nice long video, put it on another tab, mute it, and let it play while you're watching here. That'll be
Yes.
that'll be the hours.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Synthia, will you check the private chat just for a second?
Oh yeah.
Just a heads up. Okay.
So
My kitty, Christ Ralph, my kitty is a Himalayan. And
what
she,
color? What color is your cat?
oh, well, Himalayan is a long-haired Siamese.
Oh, okay.
So she's really gorgeous, and she likes attention. And when she was a kitten, I would sit on my bed with my computer in front of me, and she would sit in my lap. And so she's got this idea now, if I'm at the computer, she should be cuddle up nearby. And now we've got the other one in range.
Maybe you could set her as your picture. I want to see her.
Let's see. How do I do that? I've got a backup.
He's not wrong, Grandma. He's not wrong. I am totally talking so much trash right now. Like, just taking the piss right out of him. I'm trying to be British in saying that because, I could never live up to River, Christ. You know that. But I will try my fruits. I will try. Okay, I'm going to try to be serious on Cynthia's chat. Don't make me laugh, Christ. Don't do it. Like, I'm trying to be serious and be real. Because we actually do have so much. Yeah, I know you guys are laughing. But we do have an actual presentation here, okay? So, yeah.
I just missed the live. Run off real quick. I had to go off screen real quick, so I wasn't here. What were you guys talking about?
Oh, I was talking trash about Christ. I don't know anything else that's going on. I'm just totally talking trash about him. If you want to check the private chat again, like.
Oh, I see his comment on the comments saying that we were talking about talking crap in private.
Yeah. So in the private chat, I told exactly I was. Absolutely. So
I'm trying to remember how to change the photo, and
see, this platform is completely new to me as well, and we had a lot of technical problems in the beginning.
I know. Let's go
so
here.
Okay, so can we get back on track here? We've like lost where the hell we were at. Price Wrath never fails to, just get me off my box with himself. But what we were saying, I guess, Synthia, is that we now have two confirmed things with Dylan. Lauren Dillon, district attorney, saying to her privately, can we clear something up? You cannot bring a phone or a camera, no matter who you are, press or not, into a courtroom. How do I know this? Because I've had to go to court before. They make you put your phone in a thing and you're not allowed to bring them in. So even if Glory wanted to tape someone, that's not going to happen. She would have been tossed out of that court so fast. And no, that's just not going to happen. You could say you can. Oh, you can go to court and tape anything you want. Well, you can try it. We'll see how far you get. Actually, did see some videos of how far people
Yeah,
have
we were
gotten.
talking about that earlier when we were all three on the phone. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to happen. If you were to like not cooperate when they're telling you not to film, they will definitely throw people out.
Oh yeah, they don't smile on that. Somebody was saying, look, regarding Jim Brenner and how tall he is. Well, couldn't you smuggle your phone in and get a picture of him? And I went to court the next day, and of course I didn't have my camera with me, but the only seat was next to the bailiff. So it's like, yeah, that would be really smart.
Yeah, you have footage of Candice outside the court because that's allowed.
Yeah,
Inside I have court on August 25th. I ran the stop sign like 2 seconds from my house. They pulled me over in my driveway. I get a ticket. August 25th. I have a court date. I have to show up. And I promise you that when I go in there, you have to walk through a metal detector. And then they're like, do you have a phone? And if you say yes, you got to go. Go put that in your car, wherever you got to put it. It cannot come in here. So when you said that, that was no surprise to me. Like, you can't do that. You could try. You're going to get thrown out, arrested, something. But you cannot record in a courthouse. So that's just the way it is. So either way, you're not going to have evidence of that. But again, have you lied? No. When have you lied?
And it probably would have messed up.
proof
Like,
of
if you
that.
were to do that and not cooperate when they ask you not to record, they wouldn't let you in again in the future. So it's like, why would I mess up? You know what I mean? Like, why would you mess up your
Yes.
opportunity to be there just because you want to get footage?
Midwest crappy man, I don't know. If it's anything over 100, I'm gonna be pissed because I live in a residential area. Okay, so from the stop sign to my driveway is like 3 seconds. Forgive me. Okay, I did a slight California roll. And I literally pull up my driveway. There's a cop. I was mad. So I crumpled up the ticket, threw it at him. It doesn't change that I have court on August 25th for this freaking traffic ticket. And it'll probably be over $100. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to do the YouTube thing. I'm going to victimize it. I'm going to play it out. I'm going to go on my channel, cry to you guys, and everybody can cash at me and pay for my California roll through the thing. Because that's the YouTube way, right? Money, 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 and more money. I definitely am saying that for a reason. Synthia knows why I'm saying that. Glory knows why I'm saying that. I could tell you guys right now that if I wanted to, I could be on my own channel doing something completely insane. I am choosing not to do that for a reason. Okay? So, but either way, when you guys see my fundraiser for my running the stop sign, please donate. If you see me with a Bentley the next week, don't ask questions. I will tell you no lies. No, I'm just trying to be YouTube-ish, Glory. Like, this is what they do. Just give me all the money. Listen to whatever I say. Follow me, whatever. Screw the facts. Screw the family. Screw the victim. Pay attention to me. Give all your money to me. That's what people do on this freaking platform. That's the truth. Tell me I'm wrong. Grandma. Oh my. Well, it's true, Grandma. You know it. You have definitely seen it. Jess, I will send you $2 US. Well, we are $98 short. If anybody wants to match Christ, get in on it while you can. So,
if it's only $100, you don't know yet if it's $100 fine.
I don't know. I literally California rolled 2 miles an hour so everybody could see me. Not really, but just to my driveway, literally. And this cop was so excited that he got me. I was so mad. I was like, how dare you? I felt so violated. Like I'm in my driveway, dude. Like I'm already here. Destination reached. Why am I getting this ticket? And he just like smiled at me, and I overreacted. But again, doesn't change the fact I have to go to court on August 25th. If you want to show up there, I will give a live press conference after that. And you will have proof for everyone that it happened. And yeah, I want the raw, uncut version.
Well, it may be.
Mine is over 100 because I'm going to be really fired up.
I may have hired a body double for you who is impersonating you, and that it's still hearsay.
Oh, maybe a psyops.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we're at in this case. Aliens, psyops.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Yeah. That was really weird. And then there was the other one that, like, do you recall hearing something like someone believed that Dylan was like not a real person, and then they were like, I want to go to Montello to meet this Dylan guy, and I'm like, is he not a real person or
come on?
I didn't know if I wanted to say it or not, but yeah, it was salty, and it was odd.
And
I don't know where that
colleague salty. See if he wants to talk about that, because
And then he was saying that that Dylan was playing video games with a YouTuber and that he could hear Dylan in the background. Do you recall that one?
Yeah, that was salty. But once he met Kurt and stuff, he, had a really different like opinion and stuff.
Yeah.
So he does his thing. I'm gonna mute and call him. If he wants to come up, he can. If not.
Donnie Brasco says he's on his way to Montello as we speak. Do you know anything about that, Lynette?
Say that again.
Donnie Brasco. I'm trying to highlight the comment.
Wrong
one.
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Oh, Salty, he was talking about going to going Saturday, and they were going to meet up in I think he was going to pick somebody up at the airport, and then they were going to go overnight at one of the casinos in Wendover, and then head north from there. And he had talked about me tagging along, but I never heard anything back in the last 5 days. And so, yeah, that's okay. There's somebody else who's local who's going, I want to go. And
if you were to go there, you're brave. I'm not. I couldn't imagine going there.
My friend Charles went to.
All right, so Mike's gonna come up. He is on his way. Donnie is correct. That he is on his way to Montello right now. So I'm sending the link to him, and he wants to come up. I told him that I want to take the journey to Montello with him. So he wants to come out with us.
Are you asking him to explain the
link? Synthia, can you repost the link in chat?
Yeah.
Because I just gave him the link to the channel, so he'll be able to come onto it, and then he's gonna need the link to come up. Grandma, you know what? That's messed up. What's messed up? What's going on? Pluckers, what does Salty plan on doing on Montello? I don't know. We're going on the journey with him. That's what I told him. I want to go on the journey with you.
Didn't he say something about interviewing Kurt, like live or something?
He was talking about doing a live stream from the saddle sore.
Oh, cool. I mean, yeah. All right, great.
So,
Christ rest. You want me to come on or what? I always want you to come on, but you never do. If we put the link up, are you coming up, Christ, or what? Christ's sakes.
There's an acquaintance who lives in he's kind of doing a makeshift cabin on some land out by Lucin, and my friend went out to visit and went to go in town and he wanted to stay at the motel, and they wouldn't rent a room to him. I guess they were offended.
Oh,
by
Salty is here, Cynthia. I'm sorry, Gloria. I'm not trying to cut you off.
Okay.
Salty is here. Is the
Salty.
link in?
Yeah.
If
I'll
you
put
want
it
to repost it and bring him up, he is on his way to Montello. I'm sorry again, Glory, for cutting you off.
Oh,
So your friend's building a cabin out in the Lucin area?
well, a mutual acquaintance is, and yeah, I think he's got a storage container and a couple of other things that he's fashioning into a cabin. And he went out there, and so he was going to go stay in the motel, but they wouldn't rent a room from him because I guess they didn't like his big city ways, and so he had to go over to Wells to get a room, which is 53 miles away, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, they're not necessarily the most friendly.
They're not necessarily the most friendly.
So even your friend got that vibe off the area.
Yeah, I called and asked him because we were talking that one night about Element 11 out at the Stargazer Ranch, whether there might have been some connection to what happened to Dylan and Element 11. And so I knew he had gone to Element 11, but it was before it moved to that location. And he confirmed what I thought, that it's a big festival. It's counterculture, anarchy and just kind of freewheeling, do anything goes, except if it's X-rated, put it behind a screen where children can't see it.
Glory, I feel like this is something you could speak on. Salty he says he's passing the Tree of Life. That's
Yes.
something that you spoke about before.
Yes, that's along the north side of I-80 as you head to Wendover. And
yeah, I think we looked at pictures of that thing. I want to hear Salty's thoughts on it because I feel like it's like a thing for you guys. And I look at it and I'm like, there's 2 soccer balls. Like, I don't know what that means. So it's like, I feel like if you guys came to the East Coast and seen some of our crazy stuff, you'd be like, what the hell is that? And I'm looking at that thing like, what's that? That's the Tree of Life. Okay, Jess. Like, I don't know what that is,
I'm going to have to look up pictures now because now I'm interested to find out what this thing looks like.
Share the screen. Yes, look up the Tree of Life. It's like 2, it looks like soccer balls almost. And
I think it's more of pool balls, but
okay. Yeah, Glory definitely knows more about it than I do. So
I've seen it once in the daylight, and I think the rest of the times it's always been dark. So some artist made it, I think, back in the early 1980s, and then there was questions over maintenance, so he donated to the state so he wouldn't have to worry about upkeep and taxes and stuff. So it's officially a state art object.
if Christ wrath doesn't stop, I swear to God. And I hope you catch that, Chris. I swear to God. Okay? Christ wrath. Accept my pun and like it. Okay? Just do that. Anyway, I'm sorry. We have people cutting up in the chat. I love when people do that. Here we go. Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yep. See how it looks?
It doesn't necessarily look like a tree.
Well, modern art never looks like what they label it as. So
yeah, it looks like beach balls, kind of like on top of a.
That's what I said. It looked like tennis balls or I was so confused by this, but I think this is a thing. Like, Glory, like this is a thing for people out there, right? Like this is a sort of a art piece that people know about, seek out, things like that.
It's like 80 feet tall, so it's the only thing out there to see because after you get past Stansbury Island, there isn't anything because it's flat. It's the salt flats. There's absolutely nothing there, and then you got this 80-foot tree.
Yeah.
By the side of the freeway, and so you see it miles off.
So it sounds humongous. Just like a
Lord. Who
monolith
is Joseph Lord?
in the middle of nowhere.
Joseph Lord says, looks like DNA replication, in my opinion. I'm gonna agree with the assessment, but I don't want to offend anyone that this means something to. But again, if you guys came to the East Coast and seen some of our art, I feel like the West Coast people would be like, are these people saying like what is that? Like what are you guys doing? So it's like different, it's just like different coasts. You know, I'm on the East Coast, so that thing looks really questionable to me. But then we have art statues over here that I know that you guys would be like, somebody actually took the time to make that, and we would be like, yes, how dare you, like, revere this thing, we know this thing. So yeah.
Well, they made a huge bronze sculpture which they put in downtown Salt Lake, and it was supposed to represent I can't remember if it's the Ochre Mountains or the Wasatch Mountains, and it was this big gigantic thing, and it was kind of hideous, and nobody really liked it, and somebody would come along and dump paint on it and so forth, and so they finally got tired of the nonsense, and so they went and moved it out by the airport so that you didn't have passing people getting annoyed at it. You got busy people trying to make their flights, and they don't have time to vandalize it. So
we have a lot of that kind of stuff here where I live, like vandalism. It's really annoying because it's just like, why, you know? There's they put so much money into it, the city and stuff, into paying for the art, and it's just like, well, do you want like a tore down, you know, city or what? Because you get this nice like art piece and then people vandalize it.
I'm really curious, like what Salty is like. If he goes into the bar, like I want to go with him. I would.
Well, hopefully
they called on me to do this at one point. I put aside my 4th of July weekend plans to do this. It did not materialize. So if he's going to do this, we're doing it together, Mike. Okay, I'm coming with you in the cowboy saddle store, wherever the heck you are. We're going together, and I want to say hi to everyone too. I want to say hi to Barbara. I want to say hi to Kurt. Me and Kurt might be on the same level of drunk this time. I don't know. I'm joking, but either way. Okay, so Eric, hi Jess.
He's only been there one time, right?
Hey Eric.
Salty?
What?
He's only been there one time, right?
That I know of.
Oh, okay.
Salty?
Yeah. This one I think is his second trip, and he made a lot of little short videos like of the town and around the area, and you know, I found those interesting to look at. Yeah, it's not that different from where my dad's land was, which was I'm guessing 30 miles away after talking to my dad. So I'm really close to where the Element 11 would be taking place. So
can you explain Element 11? I heard you mention it earlier.
Element 11, that's what we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, Synthia. Remember when somebody
like similar to Burning Man?
Stargazer Ranch.
It's officially affiliated with Burning Man. So
okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the smaller local version of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like an offshoot of it. So waiting. Hi.
Christwrath says the bronze sculpture got recycled by Chase Venstra.
That would not surprise any of us. It sounds like he's recycled everything in that area. Resold it, taken it, resold it.
Making me
He's
laugh.
doing his part
I
for
thought we were
the
doing a serious stream. I'm over here cracking up. Like, you guys.
Hey, at the end of the day, even though
all we need is Black Dove to complete this. I'm totally gonna accuse Black Dove of being a psyops. I'm going to threaten to dox him. Everything. He's probably hiding Dylan out somewhere. We don't know. Okay, like that's all we need to like finish out this whole thing right now. So if Black Dove pops in here, you know I'm joking. You know I'm joking. I don't give a shit where you are. Okay, but either way, waiting on you, Mike.
Joseph
He
Lloyd,
said-
I'm muting again because I don't know where the heck
he
he's
said in the
at.
comments, Salty Pancakes said, "You think Montello is spooky? I'll take you to Dugway." Do either of you know what Dugway is?
Oh, Dugway Proving Ground is where they used to store nerve gas back in the Cold War days, and I think that they've destroyed all of that. But it's south of Tooele, and you go a little bit further south, you get into the area where Josh Powell went camping, supposedly with his kids, and in the region where they think he may have disposed of Susan. So that's that. You get on the trail that goes out to Simpson Springs, right there by Dugway.
Mike is salty, and I feel like Mike's like me. He's not hiding from anything. So salty is Mike. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he minds if.
Yeah, he's saying it right now. Me, Mike Lee
Yeah.
is my name. Yeah, it's Mike Lee. So, like I said, Salty's not hiding. His YouTube name is Salty Pancakes, but his name is Mike Lee, just like my name is Jessica Monday. Just like Synthia Rivera. So it is what it is. But yeah, Mike is salty. So waiting on you, bud. Chime in because I'm trying to go on this journey with you. We were supposed to do this. Well, not you and I, but they were going to set up that they wanted me to. They wanted to put the laptop up, and you know all about that for 4th of July, and it didn't materialize, and all that stuff. So
Did Mike
I
Lee
want to
how
come on
far
the
he-
journey with you and say hi to Kurt again. And
Did Mike Lee tell you how far he is from Montello?
He's quite a way if he's by the.
he's in the chat, so
because he's still got to get to.
I think he
Quite a
said
ways
give me
over
15
still.
minutes or so. Hey, who's this person? I cannot pronounce your name, so don't like hate me. Osinet Curious. Hey, Salty. A certain someone said they're going to live stream the Brenner hearing.
Well, they're gonna get in big trouble then.
Thank you, Glory.
Well, didn't they say they were going to get like one of those little badges or something like that? Good luck to them. You said you tried to get one, right? And that didn't happen.
The Jim Brenner hearing on Monday is a Zoom thing, so you can do it, but you'll get in trouble for doing it because it says before you sign in that it's strictly forbidden.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys this. It's very easy to get a press pass. You literally pay like $30 or so, and you get a press badge, and you really can put it in a lantern. And now you're press. It really is that easy.
Well,
so.
Marcus sent me a video link on press passes, and there are different credentials for different entities, and so what might be good for one won't work for another. But don't you just have to get a T-shirt with press written on it in red letters? Like,
Well, if you get the badge, you seem so much more official. I might get a press badge and just walk. People can do this. Like people don't realize this. They actually can. You pay a small fee, maybe $30 or so. You get a press pass, and you really can go in there. That doesn't mean that if you get a press pass, that you can take a camera or a phone into a courthouse.
I was just going to ask Lauren
Clear
Dellin
about that.
if that would make
No, you cannot. Press or not, you cannot go. You can if you want to get arrested or get kicked out or whatever. But even with your little press badge and your little lantern, some people don't know what the little plastic thing is called. It's called a lantern. And yeah, you're going to get kicked out, or you're not just going to be allowed in. Lori should know about that.
Yeah, the federal courthouse, they will allow the credentialed press to take electronic devices in, because they all have their computers sitting on their lap and they're typing merrily away. And I'm trying to make notes in my spiral bound notebook and being a bit envious.
If that is true for that area, then I'm going to encourage you to get that, because you go to these things. But I know over here, meaning over here on the West Coast in Delaware and surrounding areas, I live in Delaware, surrounding areas, you cannot go into a courthouse. I don't care if you're press. I don't care what you are. You are not bringing a phone. You are not bringing a camera. They will not allow it.
Yeah, so. And in Wyoming, where I've done a few evictions, they wouldn't allow. I think they made an exception so that we could present some evidence, which was on the phone. The phone was in airplane mode, and that was purely to present some evidence. But they will allow the press to have their phones. They have to be turned off in airplane mode, because they went into, after the Brenner hearing, went out into the foyer, and Marcus Ortiz was asking the defense attorney a few questions, and she was kind of annoyed and walked off, and so they can record audio with their phones, but they can't do anything.
Salty's asking you a question, Glory.
Oh, let's see.
I think you guys had this sort of planned. Salty's asking you, are you joining me tomorrow? Maybe just for the day.
Let me check. I'm not sure if my appointment is tomorrow. I guess my appointment is a Monday. It's kind of tempting. Are you having the meetup point in Wendover still, or in up there in Montello?
You guys should do this off air.
Okay, yeah.
Tax in and figure out the times. Okay. Mike, get your ass up here so we can see what's going on. We are trying to travel to Montello with you, sir. Please.
I want to hear about it. I'm like,
going to Montello. What, Synthia? Sorry.
I said, I want to hear about it. I'm like, Lauren Dellin is going to Montello.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to go with Salty.
I'm curious to see the place, because, we used to go camping on my dad's land, not that far, it's probably.
Well, both of you are like literal reporters, because we don't have any outside people that go there. The only person that's done that is Salty. So if you do that as well, Lauren Della, Salty, you guys will be like our boots on the ground, where we get to see what's going on. Because we don't have that. We have that with other people that are searching, that are not really supposed to be searching, but they are. You guys are doing a more legit thing, so I want to see what you guys are doing. Hi, Mike, how are you?
Hello, ladies.
Hi.
How is
Where are you
everybody?
at and what's going on?
Well, just arrived into town. I still need to hit up the dispensary and the alcohol store. Not much going on tonight. Maybe hit the buffet, play a couple slot machines.
Oh, they got
That's
some
about
good.
it.
So you're just going full devil card here. Dispensary, alcohol store, and gambling. You know what, Mike? It is a Friday
I'm
night.
just trying to have a great time. It's Friday. I'm gonna enjoy my
That's
time
what I'm
out
saying.
here.
I'm
Oh, my.
having a little bourbon.
All day I've been
You
thinking it was
know, I had
Tuesday.
regrets with interviewing Kurt, with us both being basically the same level of drunk was kind of disturbing. But it's Friday. So if you want to engage in all the things, engage in all the things.
Well, it's not for me. My wife has endometriosis, so the edibles help soothe that pain a little bit. She doesn't go on the government medications and whatnot. She tries to keep it organic, but no, I
You know what? I
definitely
always
can't do
like
that.
that about you. You always speak well and highly about your wife.
Yeah, she's a great
When
girl.
your
I listen
wife
to her
got
all the time.
creepy vibes, you made it a point to leave.
Yep, I did.
Yep.
Women are right. They're always right. I listen, and if she says we need to go, we need to go.
Hey, listen, you know, we just have crazy gut feelings, and when we have them, and we have men like you that listen to them, we usually save ourselves and you guys from crazy stuff. So I have to ask you this burning question.
Sure.
I know that your wife had a bad reaction to a certain person, and you know you left right away to protect her and do all of that, which was the right husband thing to do. But what brings you back to Montello?
I think the curiosity, but not just that. I'm meeting up with some people this time. We're going to go on some side by sides. I believe you know that person, and they're going to give me a tour around and show me the ins and outs a little bit better than I could in my car.
Is it okay if I say that person's name, or are we just gonna let that come out on your channel?
I'm not really one to sit here and talk about
Okay.
people or who's going to be with me or what, but I believe
Okay.
you're
I
well
do
aware.
know.
You
It's
do
okay.
know.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, I'm just going to tour
So,
around town. We're not going out to the grain shed or nowhere else where the family has asked specifically not to go out there. So we're going to respect that. Get some more video coverage. Bullshit with Kurt. I would love if Glory and Dylan joined us. That would be awesome. I mean, I can pick you up, take you.
That would be
I would as well. Glory, are you gonna do that or no?
yeah, I just need to know when to meet up so that I can be there in plenty of time because it's I think 111 miles to Wendover.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
But no, I would love for you to join and
that
meet
would
up
be a
with
lot
me.
of
And
that would be a lot of fun because I have so many fun memories of going camping out in the West Desert as a kid. So
I think you guys would absolutely make a great team with boots on the ground. Glory with her paralegal and court sense, Salty with your just intuition and all of your things. I would absolutely watch you guys and pay attention. So I would love to see that. I'm just saying.
We'll have to stay in regular contact with them, especially
Yeah.
Gloria, because I feel like they have two very different perspectives on everything. So it'll be interesting. what
They
each
do
of
and they don't. I mean, I would stay in contact with both of them because Mike has a lot to offer, and so does Glory.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Of course.
these
They
are
both have a lot
people
to offer.
that
People
are
with different perspectives.
there, that are, you know, speaking to the people that are involved. I
Yeah.
mean, Glory with her court stuff, you know, she's there. Mike is in Montello, he's there. So, you know, people can say what they want, but these are the people that are actually there. So, you know,
Well, and now that I got a better feel of it, and my vibe won't be as bad as it was last time, I'm more prepared, sort of say.
Are you willing to give those people
Five
second
as bad
chances?
as this. Okay, I'm sorry, Cynthia. It's your channel. Go ahead.
Are you willing to give those people second chances, or are you going to avoid the person that gave you the creeps before?
Which was Ty.
I'm willing to give anybody a second chance. Like I said in the beginning, and I've never flip-flopped it, I just had a bad vibe from Ty. I don't know why. I don't know where it's coming from, but my intuition said that something is wrong here and off.
It's a gut feel.
And you know, ever since
You
then,
must
he's been
follow it.
yes, and he constantly attacked me on these other channels. I can't, let's just say one channel. And God, I don't know if he'll be
Why
out
the
there.
attacks? Why the
Huh?
attacks, really?
Why does he attack?
Why
I
the
don't know.
attacks?
I don't know why he attacks me.
I don't either. I really don't. I don't understand. If everyone is on the same page of trying to find out information about Dylan and what happened to him, why the attacks?
Oh,
Maybe you could be onto something, and he doesn't want it. He doesn't want that heat coming his way. I don't know. But when you're friends with Chase and everybody in there who's a part of this ring of criminals, and you are involved with them, and you're friends with them, leads me to believe that you may be also a part of this. Not saying he actually did it, but you might. He just throws me off the wrong way.
So
like
what do you
tonight
think
on like tonight on Doug's stream, he was mentioning Kurt, you need to go to Jim Brenner and ask him what's going on. No, Ty, how about you go to Jim Brenner and ask him?
So what do you
I
think?
love how you flip the script.
Or not?
Mike does that. He's like, me, you go ask.
It's always he's always wanted everybody else to do it. Why don't you go do it?
Yeah.
So Salty, how do you feel about Chase having been cleared so far? How do you feel about that now that you know that he's not considered a person of interest by law enforcement?
I think this leads us down another rabbit hole. Is he really being cleared, or is he being set up, or is he a witness? There could be all kinds of reasons to it.
They
All
said that
kinds
in
of
regards to the contents of the search warrant were misconstrued, and so it sounds like there's a completely different homicide out there that Chase is implicated in, and so maybe he's a person of interest, just not with, because he said, insofar as I know regarding Dylan's rounds, he's no longer a person of interest. That's not to say that he's not a person of interest somewhere else. So they just regarding Dylan.
Well, then I have another question on that, Lauren Dylan.
Cynthia, if you don't mind if I interject just for a second.
Well, I don't want to forget what I'm
Do
saying.
you have any mods?
I haven't seen Grandma in here for a while, actually.
If
so no.
you could make, I think Tamara's in here. We do have some trolls. Tamara's a great mod. She will take care of it.
Okay.
We have people just spouting out, vote for this person and that person. If you want to throw her a wrench, she's a great person. I promise you that. And she'll handle it.
I'm not sure to do that. And
if you click on her name, actually, if you click on her name, you should be able to do it. But I'm not in the mood for trolls tonight.
Okay.
I feel like this is a great panel.
I think.
Yeah, and Grandma as well. Grandma's in here, and she's a great mod. Just to take the trolls out. We don't need that. It's a great panel. We have you and I who have talked to multiple people behind the scenes, a ton of knowledge. We have Salty that has been boots on the grounds. We have Lauren Dylan, also boots on the grounds with court cases. No time for trolls. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, you got two great people who are into this and about Dylan. We're not into this for money. We've never asked for money. We don't have PayPal banners running. We're not into it for super chats. I think we're two good people who have good intentions.
Well, we both hit
It is all about
1,000 subs. the
I
same
actually think that all 4 people on this panel
Mhm.
are of the same ilk, Mike. I would not associate myself with Synthia or Glory if they were that way, and they are not that way. And neither are you. So it just, birds of a feather.
Well, right. I mean, we had a
Saying
long hour conversation between me and you when I was on my way back from Montello to home. So
Yeah.
I think we went into good detail of my involvement in this and yours, and
Yeah.
what we could come together and try to brainstorm it.
You know, Jess and I separately have had opportunities to go on other channels, but we both declined just because of the association with some of the things that were kind of being put out there by those channels. And Dylan is at the forefront of all of our minds. So, well, for the 4 of us.
Well, Jim called me this morning.
But-
Let's just put the elephant out in the room. Hi, Jim. I know you're watching this stream. Jim called me this morning. You want to come on the channel, and I told him if he recorded it, he can play it. But you just can't talk about people the way that he does. So that's that. Yeah, if I wanted 15, 25K views, I would have him on. It's not, and it's exactly what I told him. That's not my intention, Jim.
You're right. Never let it be about the
Missing
views.
young man. Period. So I talked to Jim Terry today. He actually woke me up. My phone's ringing off the hook, and I one eye it, and here's Jim, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I answer the phone, and I was like, what, Jim? He was like, just listen. And I'm like, okay, what? So he starts talking about Aiden Clune and stuff, and I do want to pursue that case more. But other stuff, and it just I'm not going to go on and on about Jim Terry. This is not what this stream is about. What I will say, a silver lining, and Mike, agree or disagree, but I think all of the people in the know, and these 4 people on this panel are definitely in the know, all 4 of us and others, a few others, but we all, even though we don't agree with each other and things like that, it seems that we all agreed that this was not a one-man show. This was not just James Brenner. And I would love to hear what you think about that.
All right. Well, are you there, Salty?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I was going to send the link again. I was like, all right, we lost him.
Well, that was a loaded question, and if he doesn't want to answer, so be it. We'll accept that, but I will definitely say for myself that I do not believe this was a one-man show. And I do believe that people in the know, again, there hasn't been one that has said that they believe that James Brenner acted alone.
I know it's confusing. We would like to think there's multiple people involved, but the more I look into it, I just think one person is involved.
Do you? Okay, that's interesting. I'm always open to different opinions because in reality, none of us know. So we have theories, but we do not know. So if that's your theory, I am just curious as to why. I am not judging you. You know that. But I'm always curious about your opinions of things. And so
I think opinions are good, and brainstorming about the possibilities is good.
Yeah.
But when we start jumping to accusing others without facts, like a lot of other channels have done, one in particular, then we start to create this process of drama and
Yeah.
grooming the situation rather than basing it on facts.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying it's just my opinion only. That I don't believe that this was a one-man job, but you're saying that it is. And so I'm just curious as to why you think that, because I'm open
The
to being
motive.
swayed.
What would be the motive? I don't see a motive. It's not like Dylan had money. I can't see a motive in this.
It could be
I
envy.
see
Well-
it possibly there could have been an interaction between him and Jim that day, and it just, like Kurt has said, Dylan is strong-headed and kind of bold and maybe
won't back down. Yeah.
yes. And so when you start to think about these things, and maybe there was some words exchange that day, maybe an accident happened and one thing led to another. That's why
I
nobody
think
can piece this
Synthia
together.
could definitely speak on that, because
That's
she
my
has
theory.
flirted with that idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, my two main are maybe James Renner did do this alone. And then my other is that, which I'm kind of leaning towards, is that there's more people involved, because several people connected to James Renner said themselves that they don't think he did this alone, or they don't see how he could have done it alone.
Well, the boots is the telling story right there.
Oh, I've always said that, and you know that.
It was a distraction. They were just thrown there
Yep.
to throw people off. Who else was on this property the day that Dylan showed up with his grain truck?
$1 million question.
But you know, Jim being as small as a guy he was, maybe there was an object involved, like a tool. Maybe he could have whacked him over the head. He could have hit him upside the head, choked him. I don't know. I was not there. Again, that's me assuming. But it makes no sense because of the motive. You would have to, if someone did this to Dylan, is because there's a motive. They think either had large amounts of cash and they could get it off him. And looking at the suspects who were cleared, like Chase, then what really was the motive?
I'll pose this question to you, Salty. Everyone that knew Dylan well enough knew that he didn't carry cash, that he did carry cards.
That's correct. That's correct. So he wouldn't have had money.
Right.
And he just got into town. I mean, it wasn't like he was living there for 3 years.
Right. Which was not true. We found that out, that
But what I find
it was a
interesting
very
about
short
that is
period that he was actually there.
I find interesting that one of the people that said that he doesn't carry cash said that Dylan paid cash. So I'm confused by that. And we're talking about large sums of money. They said that they would be paid in cash. So I'm like, okay, so does he carry cash or does he not? I mean, I know Dylan's own family said he uses cards, but it just seems interesting that one of the people that are saying he only uses cards, that's what they're saying publicly, they've said that he paid in cash.
For
But
me,
cards
it's
with
been
what?
multiple people, but Mike, go ahead.
Cards with what? He was 19?
Mm-hmm.
Barely just established his credit?
Pretty much.
So someone had to have been funding him, which was the grandparents.
It was farm work that he did.
I think it was more farm work.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
from
he did
talking
his
to
side
Kurt.
jobs,
You've
correct.
talked to Kurt. I've talked to Kurt.
Well, those side jobs are small.
They were
But
small
yeah, he
small
was
side
doing
jobs.
farm work for other farmers.
Paychecks, that's not small, in my opinion. A $33,000 paycheck is pretty large.
But that was his biggest paycheck.
No, he was waiting on a $47,000 check as well.
Who confirmed that?
I don't know if you want to say that.
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to make a large amount of sum like he just did, while at the same time working on another contract. There's no other contract that was done.
Jess, do you want to say who told him?
No, I'm actually confused by that question. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm over here biting my nails like 47,000. Where did that come from?
Yeah, there was no 47,000. That's a large amount of money
I'm
for a
not
short
even
amount of time.
being like
Privately.
partitions. Or
Yeah.
I really
He had one
don't stop
contract.
recollecting.
It was that big contract that he did do,
Mhm.
and obviously you would need material, so he had to borrow money. Nobody has that kind of capital to start performing that kind of work. He had to borrow that money. He needed to pay back that money. As soon as he got that check, he raced back to his grandparents, gave him the check.
Yeah.
Then he has credit. He has credit at the seed store for his grandparents. Picks
Yeah.
up seed, hightails it back to Montello. There's no other this is the simplest explanation. I don't know why it keeps getting misconstrued and flipped sideways, but sometimes the easiest truth is the simplest truth.
Occam's razor, right?
Yeah, I do feel like I recall hearing that from during a private conversation, but Jess, I mean, if you don't remember that, we'll have to go back and.
Yeah, I really don't. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Off the top of my head, I'm not recalling that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to think about that or whatever. But the 47,000, not recalling.
Well, it was part of the 80 because we had talked about that with the detective. It was that's what was adding up to the 80. And this person said that privately about the 47. So we were like, well, that makes sense that there was 80 total almost.
No,
All that?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
I mean, for a short amount of time, you guys got to remember that when he was doing this farming, it was right after winter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's a short period.
What was odd was that Tracy, which would be Kurt Ventra's ex and hiding with the child, she said that that Chase was saying around June 3rd, June 4th, that he was going to come into a lot of money. He got arrested on June 4th. She wasn't really, I don't think she really knew the details, but it was something about Chase and Kurt coming into, she said specifically 100,000.
She did say that, and then she backpedaled.
Yeah, she backpedaled majorly, and I was just like, okay, I don't know what this means. I don't know what that is, but there's the information.
So do you guys know anything about the winters in Utah?
In there, Mike.
They're cold.
They're cold.
Wanna...
They're cold. And Gloria and Dylan, our ground is frozen until when?
It depends greatly. There was one year where it was still frozen in April.
That's right.
Oh wow.
So start doing the math.
Well, no, you guys sound like the East Coast because we're like that as well.
It can vary greatly. I remember a couple of winters ago, it was 78 degrees a couple of days before Christmas, and then you have a big snowstorm with lots of snow on the ground, so you can get pretty extreme changes.
And you don't farm frozen ground.
No.
Yeah, I asked Kurt like when Dylan came out, and he said like April-ish.
I thought work was usually done like in advance though, and that there was a considerable wait time usually between the checks. So we don't know what that wait time is. And also we have not, Jess, we need to reach out to some of the farms that he worked for to find out exactly what it was he was doing, because I
think you should reach out to Ed.
Dylan had a lot of skills, very varied. It wasn't just like
if you have a connection to Ed, the connection to Ed is Kurt.
Nobody does. Nobody has a connection to Ed for some weird reason.
It is Kurt. I know Kurt has said Ed's name.
Kurt knows Ed just like I know you.
But when you asked about that, Multi,
No.
during your interview, you heard him bring up Ed, and you said, "Oh, well, I keep hearing."
I
Ed
did.
Yeah,
I
you
did
said,
because that's the person who we should be interviewing and trying to get in contact with.
what you
He has
said.
all the golden answers. All
And
the
he-
golden
I agree.
answers.
And
But
Kurt said,
he doesn't want to be
We've been
interviewed.
saying this behind the scenes.
yeah.
If you interview Ed, you're going to open up a whole new can of worms.
A whole new, yes, no, we have literally been saying this behind the scenes. Ed Hirschberger is a person that we would love to speak to, but the only way we're going to speak to him is through Kurt.
I don't think it's necessarily through Kurt. When you're in a small town, Kurt knows everybody in a lot of things, just like Ty would seem to know,
Yeah.
because it's a small town. If it's 50 plus people, everybody knows everybody, just like Ty seems to know anything and everything about everybody.
Well, he knows everybody but Dylan.
And that's really suspicious to
Kurt
me.
knew Dylan. There's the difference.
Ty's been out to that farm. He's supposed to build a fence. He's done work at the grain shed. But he doesn't know Dylan.
But he doesn't know Dylan.
Bullshit.
It's called plausible deniability.
Yes.
So do you guys think that he actually knew Dylan?
I think he knows more than he's telling. You're going to tell me you're going to sit here and watch Ty on these streams and talk about every
No,
little
I haven't.
detail?
I'm going to tell you that. Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, I try not to pay attention to Doug, but my curiosity kills a cat. But you're going to tell me this guy knows every little detail about every little thing in that town, including Kurt, but doesn't know Dylan?
No, I'm
He's
not
best friends
telling
with
you that.
Chase?
I've known for a while that Ed is a person that needs to be talked to, but it feels impossible without going through Kurt. When I tell you that I don't watch Doug's live streams and Ty and all that, I'm serious. I really don't.
I watch his live streams because you can get some information out of Ty. He's always backflipping. Okay, when he came out in the beginning, it was all
I
on.
had an interesting phone call today from Mr. Jim Terry.
Well, let's hope Jim Terry comes on tonight, and maybe he can. We can think tank with him.
Not.
You know, in respect,
But either way,
I think
he's suspicious of Ty.
outside of Jim Terry's attacks,
Yeah,
I think he's very intelligent. He's good at what he does. He knows how to get answers, and he loves reactions.
It's not your message. It's your delivery.
also though, in respect to Ty not really knowing Dylan in person, Ty's talking with other YouTube channels and people associated with those channels behind the scenes. So it would make sense that they filled him in on all of these details regarding Dylan.
But usually the people that Ty's associating with are all the meth heads and the criminals of Montello. They're not the good people. The good people don't want nothing to do with Ty.
But that's where I become a little bit confused, because I thought that Chase and Kurt were friends.
No, this whole thing about Kurt buying stolen tools off Chase was a grooming drama created by that channel.
No, but they were friends. They were
close.
friends up until July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are we friends? Or do I just know you?
It was more than.
Sammy told me that, Salty. So
Well, she
I'll
also
put
said it
to
on
that one.
Zach's channel, and then also Chase's ex confirmed that how close they were prior to whatever happened.
Yeah,
I don't think they were as.
Kurt
I don't
even
think.
told me that. Sammy told me that. They were friends up until Chase started basically doing things against Kurt, and that's when Kurt just cut
I
ties.
think you guys are my friends, but I don't even know you.
No, you don't, of course.
And I think that's how that word gets thrown around a lot.
Lori's gonna know you. She's gonna be
Gloria and Dylan, I don't even know her, but I consider her a friend. I consider you guys a friend, but I don't even know you.
A friend
I'm
of the
here. I can only touch you through a screen for Christ's
Yeah, I can high five you right now. Air high five.
Go ahead.
Air high five.
There you go. Yeah. No, it's just that's what was said. It's not really a secret. I think I know you know a lot. I know a lot.
I think
So,
after
you
almost
know,
30-something hours of phone calls with Kurt and many others, I think I know a lot. I don't know everything. I don't
right.
think anybody knows everything.
Nope.
And I'm in this just try to piece this puzzle together like you guys.
Yep.
A very confusing piece of the puzzle. As an Aquarius, this drives my mind nuts.
Cynthia is also an Aquarius, and I
am.
can tell you, I'm a Gemini, so we're all in the same air group thing. But this case is completely simple and extremely complex at the exact same time.
Well, we might be making it more complex than it is by overthinking it, but it also might be more complex. That there is a
Oh,
potential.
I think it's way
there,
more complex
just
than what
because
we
of
do.
what we know.
I just do.
A case is like a jigsaw puzzle. You don't have the picture, and there are pieces missing. Plus, there's a bunch of pieces from other puzzles in it, and you don't know how many puzzles there are. And so you're just trying to put all these things together and make sense of it.
And that's what makes us good as a community.
Yes.
We're
Thank
all
you for saying
smart
that.
thinkers.
Yep.
Look at the chat room. There's a lot of smart people in there, and you have to give them credit
there
too.
were so many good comments on my last live stream. I seriously wish I could have talked to every single one of them, but there are people that are seriously paying attention to this, and their comments are on point. You could just definitely tell that they're analyzing, they're looking, they're paying attention. And so it's good.
They do. They watch us. They watch our videos. They go to our channels. They're kind of like the people behind the scenes trying to figure this out too. So you got to give a lot of credit to the guys or the gals in the chat rooms. Whether they're here for the drama or they're here for Dylan. I mean, you can.
This chat are not here for drama. I promise you that.
No, there's a great group of people in this chat that I've seen so far.
Yep.
It's torture sometimes watching the chat and seeing people say things that we're just like, you're spot on in our opinion, but we can't say it for certain reasons. And then also there are people that we have talked with that they don't want certain things out there, or they don't want their name out there. So it's kind of like it's.
And I'm sure if you've done your research behind the scenes like I have, and you know as well as me, we respect their requests.
Yes.
Yes.
You know how many videos I want to make to tell the truth too about something?
You know how many videos I want to make? But
it's like I got to keep my mouth shut.
Certain things, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well,
people may not, but I do. So
we were all three on the phone earlier, and I had this idea, and I guess I hadn't thought about it in that way until Jess was like, "Well, that could kind of hurt, the investigation." And I was like, I definitely would never want to do anything to hurt the investigation. So
no, and you don't want to burn a witness that you might be able to get more information from. Just
hey, Black Dove, how are you? You want to come up?
Is that Black Dove?
Are you Black Dove on?
There's Black Dove. Come on, Black Dove. He'll probably get attacked by his buddy there, Doug, if he doesn't defend Doug.
Well, let's not start out on that. Aggressive.
And I like Black Dove. If anybody has been consistent with the facts, it's been Black Dove.
On a journey of truth. And so, whatever goes on those other channels with fighting one another.
But you can't play it both ways.
I'm not about that, Synthia, Glory. We're just not about that. We're going to talk about the case and talk about it as it is. And there's no fighting here. I just... If there is, I'm leaving. I just don't want to be a part of that.
Black Dove comment. If I come up, I'm not going to do drama. I had a terrible day. Absolutely not. That's not.
Yes, thank you.
If anybody has been consistent, it's been Black Dove.
Stream in a quick and in a hurry. I'm not doing that. So,
I mean, Salty and I kind of didn't agree on everything while we've been on this stream, and it didn't lead to like.
But we're mature adults. We can agree to disagree or disagree to agree.
Well,
That's what
I don't
that's
know
what a
how
mature
this
panel
feels
does.
to you guys, but to me,
Respectfully
it's like
disagree.
a stress relief to have adult conversation, disagreements, differences of opinion, but no craziness. Like, hey, Synthia, you're an asshole. Your daughter's a prostitute. Salty, I swear to God, I'm doxing you right now.
Yeah.
Lori, I'm offering you $500 if you find where Mike lives. Like, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
you.
I'll tell you my
Black
address
Dove, I know who you are.
or anything about.
You
I'll
know,
dox myself.
Yeah.
same.
I won't give these guys a chance to have ammo against me. Believe that.
Exactly. Same.
Welcome, Black Dove.
Yes.
Hey, give me 1 second. I got to restart it because my audio is messed up.
You're fine. But yeah, it's just all of that nonsense. Who has time for that? If you're looking into a case and you really are thinking about Dylan and what has happened to him, all of this other nonsense, for what? It's a waste of time.
Well, anyone that was willing to talk at one point now is no longer willing to talk. I mean, except Jess. Jess has a way with people, so she's been able to talk with some of the people that were scared off initially, just because of the way that they were talked to on other channels. But
I think we all play a pivotal role. I've done my best to go out there to Montello. I've done my best to befriend Kurt and make sure that he knows he can trust me. Gloria Dellin, she does her role with going to the courts and reporting on that. We all have our part in this. And if we all come together like a team, maybe we can solve something in the end.
Well, it's interesting because just looking at the screen, we have Synthia that's crazy good at research. You have myself and you, Mike, that are really good at talking to people. We have Lauren Dellin, who is a paralegal that shows up at these things, and we have a crazy analytical mind with Black Dove.
And
Like,
press pass or not,
opinion,
she's doing it.
Panel.
Press pass or not, she's doing it. Nobody else is doing it.
Yeah.
So she plays her role.
Else.
And we got to give her a pat on the back for that. I mean, good job.
Oh, I definitely have.
Well, not even the mainstream media was at the hearing, so.
And then here comes Candice, or here comes the news the next day with Candice sitting down, allegedly, with the FBI, and the FBI telling her Chase was never a suspect to begin with, which I do struggle with that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do struggle with that. I struggle with that for one simple reason, and that is because Tracy, with this wealth of text messages and knowledge, was not hit up. And that's not me pointing the finger at Chase, but it's more just information. If you start, like you said, it's a puzzle. And you start to piece together, this person said this person said that. We understand this about this person, this. You start to put it all together. So I absolutely adore this panel right now. And when I'm done smoking this canter stick, I will show my big shoulders just for Jim. By the way, Jim, I just want to say F you again for waking me up this morning with your call. He did. Jim decided to call me at the crack of frickin' dawn. My phone's ringing. One eye open it. I see Jim Terry. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So I answer. I was like, what, Jim? I talked to Jim like the narcissistic brother that I never wanted, that has the weird similar skill as me to talking to people, but we have completely different ways of going about it. And it's like he's the brother I never wanted, can't stand, wish he would go away. but he's there. So we had a good laugh about my man hands and his receding hairline.
You're so funny,
And-
Jess. I love how you just take things that people say and you just run with it. You're like, whatever. I'm not even gonna like fight over this. Like,
it is what it is. He says to me,
go laid back.
I was like, because he wanted to come on my channel. I was like, why? You've been on all these channels, these 50,000 subscriber channels. Why do you want to come on my channel? And he goes, Jess, you know I'm a narcissist. I don't mean to laugh at this, but, I was like, I know, so it's just like, he admits it at least. And it is what it is. So he goes, he was saying something about some woman. And I said, well, you've body judged me. I have the linebacker. I have the shoulders of a linebacker and sausage fingers. And he goes, well, I figured it out about your hands. He was like, they are disturbing. He was like, but I tested it out on my own hands. He was like, if you put it closer to the camera, he was like, they look crazy. I said, yeah. You want to know what size ring I wear? He was like 62. I said, no, 6. It's 6. Okay. So he's like, schedule a live for tonight for 10 p.m. I was like, no. And he was like, just do it. I was like, no, I'm not. Actually, when he called me and I was like, what, Jim? He was like, don't hang up. Just listen. I was like, fine. Listen, I'm listening. Go. I swear to you, I wish someone, I hope he recorded that conversation and he plays it. Because it's just, me and Jim Terry, it's like, again, it's just the narcissistic brother I never wanted, asked for. He's in my life. I lecture him on how to talk and how to behave. He spews out all this shit. And I'll say this. It's unfortunate. This is what I feel like with Jim. Jim, hi, Jim. Because I posted this on my community tab. Jim watches all of my streams. So hi, Jim. But here's how I feel, Jim. I feel like I am the judge in the Ted Bundy case, and you're Ted Bundy. The judge told Ted Bundy, it's really unfortunate that you went this route because I would have liked to see you try a case in front of me. And I feel the same way about Jim. It's like, Jim, you have this ability to get people to talk to you, and so do I. But it's unfortunate because you went this route and I went this route, and we can't go this route together. So, we agree on things, and we both are fully aware that he has information, and so do I. But sharing that, I'm just not willing to do. Jim, I lectured him today. Jim, if you recorded it, release it, please. But I did lecture him on the way that he speaks about things. You could cut Candice any which way you want, okay? But it will never take away from the fact that she has a missing child. I don't give a crap if Candice sat on every single penis in Idaho. If it doesn't have anything to do with Dylan's disappearance, then it doesn't matter.
Well, the way that Doug treated Gloria and Dylan was just uncalled for. She was right the entire time. He was wrong. He never admitted his wrong.
Right. Yep.
She deserves a lot of respect, and I feel bad that the way that she was treated and attacked. And then he was proven wrong the next day with the press conference. That's got to be embarrassing.
It's got to be, but what is he still saying?
Right. Somebody left a comment that he's going off on it still today.
Well, no, you know.
He can't admit his
Doug
wrong.
is still
That's the
calling
fact.
you a liar.
Yeah.
He won't admit his wrong. He can't admit he's wrong. He will never apologize.
And that's the problem. You know, when you make a mistake, the proper thing to do is to admit it, own up to it, talk about it, and move on. But if you don't have that ability, then I have to question who you are.
Well, hands down to her for handling it the way she did. Professional, mature. She didn't attack back with names and bad language. She was just telling the truth, and it just wasn't good enough to him.
Okay, they're
Well,
condemning me because I was kind of flubbing up the going U.S. attorney, and then I know he's an assistant U.S. attorney, and then I referred to him once as a prosecutor. Well, it's all the same thing. The position of the person who goes into the federal court is an assistant U.S. U.S. attorney for the state of Utah. He is a prosecutor. He is a federal prosecutor because he's prosecuting a federal case. So yeah, it's all the same thing. But because I've got certain neurological issues that I'm feeling overwhelmed by all of this barrage of stuff coming at me, and so I'm trying to articulate my thoughts, and it's fumbling a little bit for the words, and it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just that my brain is overloaded because this is crazy what's going on here.
We all of ours are.
yeah, I was gonna say that. Black.
All of us on this panel,
all of
even
us are.
everybody in the community right now, especially the people on chat, all of our brains are confused. The best thing to do is work as a team.
Every single one of us on this panel have talked to each other privately. That's not going to be released, but we have. And all of us, I think if we did a vote, raise your hand if your brain is just completely overloaded. All of us would raise our hand.
Black Dove,
Yep.
nice to see you. Just sitting quietly.
He's
Much
raising
respect.
a cuddle.
Much respect to you and what you do. I have no ill feelings towards you.
Same.
I think you're really intelligent, and if out of anybody on these channels, you're the most intellectual one that's keeping it real with the facts.
Yep.
So
Well, I'm
kudos
trying
to you.
I don't like all the drama and back and forth
No.
stuff.
I know you don't. But respects to you and what you do, and I appreciate that. It's a
That's
lot of
why-
work. It's a lot of work.
That's why I just asked you in private chat, Black Dove, if this conversation is comfortable.
I didn't see the private.
We can go somewhere else with the conversation. We can lead it somewhere else if it's not making.
No, I was actually just having a little bit of food because I haven't eaten yet.
Okay. I was like, is he there? Did everyone scare him off?
No,
I think
I'm
as creators, we hardly ever eat.
I can't say that for myself because I've ate too much. Sorry. But no, honestly, every single person on this channel, on this panel, I know you guys and I know your hearts, and there is not a single person on here that manhands that is not committed to this case, Dylan, and the facts, and not drama and all of that. Well, we could discuss it or whatever, but whatever. It just, all of us, we have all had extensive backroom discussions about this case, what we know, and things like that. And I almost want to say, Synthia, that this is like the perfect panel. I do.
I haven't had that many backroom discussions with anybody.
I have for sure. So
Brought us all together.
if you want to credit me with that, I guess. But honestly, there's a reason why certain people come together. And this is the reason. Again, Synthia, you have the research queen. With me, you have the yakking queen. With Glory, you have the court queen. With a Dove, you have the analytical mind. And with Salty, you have boots on the ground. What else do you want? You know, so it's quite the panel, and it's quite the inside people on this panel, I would say.
So Black Dove, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So how do you feel about hearing that Chase Venstra is not considered a suspect or a person of interest?
Well, I'm sort of wrestling with the fact that he knows nothing. You know, I'm not sure about that, because
Me
even if he's
either.
not a person of interest, he might know something. But I don't want to speculate on that, because if he was nowhere there and he was like involved with something else that got him arrested, then, because somebody said, and I didn't catch this in the news broadcast, which I did watch finally, but they said that the homicide thing was because there was somebody that was found dead, but it turned out it was a suicide. Is that true at all about Chase? Or is that just hearsay?
I didn't hear that, but that might have been one of the other channels that I missed. There was that body that was found. I don't know if that might be the one that they were talking about, but yeah, they said that
It was not specified, so we really don't know.
They said that the search warrant was misconstrued. So,
which is an odd choice of words, I
Yeah.
think. But
Does that mean, yeah, because when you misconstrue something, isn't that like misinterpreting it basically on
Well,
the
right.
part of the interpreter?
Misconstrued, whatever.
You know what you're saying.
It just sounded weird to me. Like, how do you misconstrue something? Like, this is not something you misconstrued. So I did that word alone, like, red flag for me, but I'm not sure where the red flag fits.
If it was a case of there is another body, but it's not Dylan, then it could be misconstrued that he's a person of interest in Dylan Rounds' disappearance, because it's not Dylan Rounds, it's this other guy who's turned up dead.
Well, that's why I was going to ask you earlier, Gloria and Dylan, because you have more experience with the legal system. Is it possible that how strongly the locals felt about Chase being involved could have had an impact on that ending up in the court documents in the interim while they investigated Chase and found out that he's not involved?
I can't imagine it happening, but they made the mistake on the date on the search warrant. Did they make a mistake in inserting homicide instead of something else, or did they get all the facts mixed up altogether? They shouldn't be doing that. This is a court document it's a sworn document that is a permanent part of.
Can I cut in and ask you how disturbing it is that they did not reach out to Tracy?
Who's Tracy?
Chase.
Oh, you must have missed my live stream yesterday.
That was a joke.
But Tracy is Chase Venstra's baby's mama. She has his youngest child. She's in hiding from him. I read out texts from him to her last night that she sent me. He was convinced that he was being framed by Kurt.
Did she? So I have the original text messages from her to someone else.
Okay.
Plays a totally different story.
Well, the one thing that she
Really, because I read them all out on my channel last night.
And I think you know who I got them from.
I do.
It paints a totally different story than what she did online.
Interesting. I
That's
don't know.
really interesting.
But I'm just going to say we always have to remember the source of where information is coming from. And I have said that with Jess so many times while we've been having.
Right. My source is straight from the source. I don't play the hearsay game. I go straight to the source. Straight to the source.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you received them from Chase or Tracy? Because they were
there was some text messages exchanged
Mhm.
My
to someone
source
else
is
in the very
Tracy.
in the
I'll
very
just
in
tell
the
you
very
that straight
beginning.
out. My source was Tracy.
I think I'll make a
She
video
sent
about it.
Texts to me, so that's what.
Are
it
you
was.
saying it was a conversation between Chase and someone else?
The whole Chase text messages in between Tracy and someone else, and then what she has went live with, does not make any sense.
What she went live with, I will say this. She
You know she's bullshitting.
She, no, hold on. Just let me speak for a second. I had reached out to her prior to her going on Doug's channel. I screwed up because I did not tell her I had a channel. I told her my name. I told her I was covering Dylan's case. For some reason, I don't know, brain fart, whatever, but I just did not say that I had a channel. After she went live with Doug, it was like a Dylan Berg situation.
Exactly. You get it.
Immediately inboxed me. She was very emotional. I did not watch that stream with Doug because for obvious reasons, but she relayed to me that she was upset. She was very emotional. I found out later that, there was some serious sexual questions asked of her that made, and she said that to me.
Here's
She
a text
felt
message
really
from her. This is from her own mouth. I'm gonna replay it verbatim.
Okay.
Chase was 220 pounds when I met him, and now he blames cancer. And as a welder, he was exposed to all kinds of chemicals, but I always thought it was drugs. The erratic behavior and all. I know he told everyone who would listen how crazy I am. How I did, I don't know, fill in the blanks, lies to make it seem like I did something. Oh, I gotta keep reading this some more, but I got a lot of text messages from her.
No,
Tracy
it's
Lindbergh,
okay.
right?
I do as well, so it'll be good to compare.
She knows what she did. She knows the false information she put out.
So, do you think that what I said on my live yesterday was a joke, or?
I don't think it was a joke. I don't think you had the full message from her since the very beginning. And I have the text messages from her.
So do I.
See, she did say.
Do you have the original text messages from her to someone else?
I have the text messages from her to Chase, the private
I
one.
have the original text messages from her to someone else.
Okay.
So I'm here to speak facts. I don't run with the whole hearsay stuff.
No,
I can air out her dirtiness just like I can air out anybody else's dirtiness.
Sure.
Because that's what Salty does. Salty exposes his salt.
See, my concern.
No, I don't want to do this, Synthia.
And you don't have to. You don't have to do it.
Well,
you don't have to do it.
We're not interested in the drama.
But I'm more interested in the facts.
Is much better. Okay, so.
True, but like I said, if we want to speak facts, Salty will share the facts.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that we both are sharing facts. They're just coming from different sources. And for me, it's always like, what's the source?
I'll share this information to you privately. Mm-hmm. But remember, I speak only on facts.
I'm almost certain I know who you got it from. And I have my own personal feelings about why this person has had their hand in everyone's narrative.
There you go. There you go.
But that's just my opinion. And if we can't agree on it, like, we don't need to, like, eventually, once the live is over, be upset with each other. Like, this has nothing to do with
No, and I would never be upset at you, but we should speak facts rather than just narrative.
Well,
And I have the facts.
Yeah, and it's fact that Chase said what he said to Tracy.
Well, Salty, Mike, with all, due respect, all of us, and I'm going to turn my camera back on for this, we all do have to recognize that.
I love your background, by the way.
Well, thank you. But we do have to respect that everything, every single one of us, the 5 of us on here, what we're hearing is secondhand knowledge.
No, it's not. It's straight from her mouth to someone else's mouth. That's not secondhand knowledge.
You said it, not me.
And I will say it because that's what Salty does. He speaks the facts. I don't worry about my channel coming down or who I need to impress.
Right. I don't either. I just evaluate.
But let's speak facts, Jess.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I love you and I love what you do and everybody else here, but let's be factual.
Let's do it. When you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm not just ready just yet. We got to keep the storyline going.
We're on the same page. I know we are. So go ahead.
And I love you. And I love you for that.
Yeah, I'm hearting you, but you can't see it because I cleared my screen. So go ahead.
Air high five.
Yeah.
For the people who know the real facts.
Back up for that. There you go. And I'll tell you something. Black Dove. Through our private emails of what I was saying to you. I'll be blunt. I don't care who you are. Okay. I'm not after you as like, who is this person? The opportunity that I presented to you was a legitimate one. Salty will absolutely know what I'm talking about. There's a person that would like to speak to Black Dove, Salty. I think you absolutely know who that person is.
I don't know, and you wouldn't elaborate. So I'm like,
she wants me to speak with him on the phone first. It's gonna open an entirely different world for him.
It's another rabbit hole.
I said she, so you know.
There is a she. Yes.
Yes. So I did, I was asked to do this. I did put this forth to Salty or to Dove. And I know Dove is very protective of his anonymity. I'm not Jim. Again, hi, Jim. I told you earlier, but I'm not invested in where do you live and what do you, I'm not invested.
But that's not so much why, is that like, I don't want to talk to somebody that could screw things up for the case or whatever and potentially be involved in like backdoor dealings.
I'll have one word for you: perspective.
I have actual facts from this person's mouth.
Oh no,
her real text is her real text messages.
Not from who Salty does, yes.
So is it the person
but
that
Black does not.
Is it one of the people that Black Dove has already asked questions to on someone else's stream?
Oh yeah, but he doesn't know the facts.
No,
he doesn't know the facts. This happened 2 months ago
I
before all this happened, and I have the original text messages.
I'm not talking about Tracy. I have to go pee, so I'm gonna let you guys like talk it out for a sec, and I'll be back.
Black Dove,
or maybe Black Dove might have an interest in talking with Sammy, but and we know what her name is. She comes on as Sammy, so maybe he'd be interested in. I don't know. I can't answer for him. Black Dove.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, like I said, that's why I don't like to do a lot of backdoor emailing and stuff like that, or back channel stuff. And most of my emails have been pretty innocuous. I did put forth a theory in some emails that I didn't want to share based on stuff I heard in publicly available interviews. And I thought it was weird, and I don't know if it's been looked into. Hopefully it has. But as for talking to people privately, like I haven't done that at all, really, especially not people who live there. Like I haven't talked to Ty or Kurt or any of those people on back channels.
But sometimes that's where you get your real facts from, Black Dove.
I feel like maybe you and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to those theories that, yeah, certain theories that each of us have, but I feel like they kind of, just having listened to you and the questions that you've asked.
I mean, Black Dove, how many people have you reached out to and had one-on-one conversations with?
Basically,
nobody.
There's been no. You mean when you say one-on-one conversations, you mean like emailed back and forth a little bit?
No, I'm talking about a phone call. How many times have you made a phone?
That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to get on a phone call.
But you're willing to be groomed by the narrative?
No, absolutely not. I don't think I have been either. I mean, I've been swayed by my own biases probably and what I think based on the information I've got, but I haven't let somebody convince me.
How many times have I reached out to you and said, hey, let's call Kurt three-way?
I don't want, see, that's the kind of stuff I don't want to do.
No, you say I don't want to, but you want to run with everybody else's narrative. I've offered that opportunity to you plenty of times. I said, let's call Kurt three-way. No. Let's call Ty. No. But you're groomed by the narrative.
No, I just prefer to do things transparently on panels because then there's like 1,000 people who are witnesses to the conversation.
It's not. What do you mean? Hearsay is not transparency, buddy.
I know it's not.
Kind of a double standard though, Salty, because you're saying that you have these facts and then.
Right. It's called going straight to the source.
Well, yeah, but Jess and I have also talked with a lot of the same people that you've talked with, and I have my own opinion based on that. So what I'm saying is like, just because Black Dove has not talked with these people, and I've been on calls with these people, and I have my own opinion that may differ from Jess or differ from your opinion. Do you get what I'm saying?
But it's easier to go straight to the source and get your information from the source rather than listening to someone else's narrative that's just grooming the situation for their own situation.
It's not another person though. It's the person that you were just talking about.
But like I said, I've offered Black Dove this opportunity plenty of times. Hey, call me. He won't call me. Hey, let's call this guy. He won't do nothing.
Like I said, I don't like to do that kind of stuff and insert myself directly with people who are directly involved and live in that area in a way that is in a back channel. If they want to get up on a panel or something and talk about stuff, then that's fine.
Which panel? Doug's panel?
I don't care
where they groom the situation?
No, I go on anybody's panel, and the proof of that is that I'm here right now.
But you haven't been on my panel.
What do you mean on your panel?
Every time I do a live, I've asked you to come up.
You haven't used StreamYard on any of your lives. How am I going to come up?
I'm about to, and I would hope you come up.
Yeah, if you do that, I will. But I was asking questions when you were doing that live call thing with Kurt.
But wouldn't it help you to understand the situation better if you actually went to the source instead of just listening to the grooming theory?
Well, I thought I was going to the source by directly asking Kurt questions in the chat and then having him answer them.
Talk with Sammy directly for, what was it, around 2 hours? You asked questions on a live. Was it about 2 hours or?
It was over an hour. I know that. I don't remember the exact amount of time I was in there.
I mean, I respect what you do. I respect what you do, Black Dove, but bouncing around from channel to channel to channel, then go on Doug's at the final end and have some shits and giggles. Come on, man. Nobody takes you serious sometimes.
I don't care if people take me serious or not. I'm not in this for that.
You should. You should. Because people believe you and what you have to say.
I'm thinking about
if they don't take me serious, they're not going to believe me.
It's becoming awkward, to be honest with you. I feel like it's very one-sided. And not considering that I don't want anyone to have hard feelings, and Black Dove came on here not to be in the drama, and now it's kind of on the verge of an argument or
it's not the drama, it's calling out the drama. He goes to Doug's channel, he sits there and bows down to him.
I don't bow down to anybody.
I watched you last night.
What do you mean I bowed down?
I'm sorry, I'm so naive. That's what you said.
When he was like angry.
When he checked you? Yeah.
About. No, I didn't bow down. I said, okay, well then fine. Maybe I'm just naive or something. But
That's
not
right. You're
bowing
naive.
down
You're naive to everything what he has to say.
No, I'm not. And but I know better than get into a heated argument with somebody like that. And it's the same thing that when, okay, if you want to use that channel for an example, they had that trucker woman call in.
Did you defend Gloria and Dylan once when she was getting attacked?
Yes, I did.
Several times.
And then
No, I didn't
kudos
jump
for
in the
you.
middle of
And that's what
that.
you should do all the time.
I said, like, after she got off and I unmuted, because I just stayed muted for the whole thing, because, I'm not going to jump in when I'm another guest and attack the host or something like that. But afterwards, I did say that I didn't think that she had any malicious intent or malfeasance in what she did by releasing the information she did in the way that she did. And I think that after that, if you kept listening, he actually did make an apology to Glorindel. So
when he knew he was wrong?
No, this was the same stream. Like after that heated bit where he kind of went off on her, he did make an apology after the fact. She had left by then, but he did. So, and I'm not here to defend what he said to her, because I think that was over the top. And I basically said that after she got off, I'm like, that was a bit excessive, because she didn't. I don't think she meant it in a malicious way, but he got heated in the moment, and he lost his cool.
That's because it didn't fit his narrative.
His narrative,
well, I mean,
that
do that for whatever reasons.
A person of interest.
No, it just didn't fit the way he wanted it to fit.
But that was the conversation, was that Chase was a person of interest. We're not talking about Kurt. He wasn't saying anything about Kurt. He was saying that he feels that Chase probably is still a person of interest.
But he wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I'm just saying, like, it wasn't on a stream where anyone was attacking Kurt or anything like that. And like you were saying that Black Dove doesn't seem like his mind is open enough and that he should talk with other people. He's done that. He has looked into each of these things. He hasn't necessarily kind of swayed one way or another, as far as I know. Black Dove, do you feel that you've done that?
I try to be as objective as possible. When I hear people say stuff, it'll make me think something, with regard to what they're saying. But I try not to let other people sway me in one direction to be like, in this case, anti-Kurt or anti-Ty or anti-this person. It's like, I just want to know what really happened. And what Jess said about this being like a puzzle is very true. However, this isn't like a normal jigsaw puzzle where you have 1,000 pieces or whatever and they all fit together neatly if you align them correctly. This is like, a puzzle that's got 1,050 pieces in the box. Some of them don't actually belong in there. And some of them sort of kind of fit, but they don't really fit. And people have been trying to, jam them in and make them fit. And it's not working. Like, that's where the I guess, the tech nerd part of me comes in. Because if you assemble something the wrong way, and then you push the power button, it's just going to blow up. If you, are trying to fix something and you don't know what's wrong with it, it's not going to work. So for me, it's more about like trying to figure out what happened with the timeline, with all these people who are involved and who've involved themselves, who've put theories out there and who've gone on, live streams or whatever from the area, to see what they all say and then see what makes sense to me, combining that with whatever law enforcement is saying about the issue. And I think that's where a big problem in this whole case is where law enforcement dropped the ball early on. Then you've got all these people speculating about all these people who are tangentially or maybe not even involved at all. And it becomes a big clusterfuck where nobody can figure out even remotely what's happened. And that's why you have all the speculation around this case, because it doesn't seem straightforward and it doesn't seem to make sense. None of it does. And the more time that passes,
I honestly don't think anything has been straightforward.
And I'm not trying to come at you, Black
from
Dove.
the family, and not to besmirch them or put them down. but it is just simply not true that Dylan was out there for 3 years. It's not true.
And I'm not trying to come at you crooked, Black Dove. It's just every time you go on all these shows, you end up over at Doug's channel, and then you kind of like laugh and joke about the whole thing.
No, I don't laugh and joke about the whole thing. I laugh when they make either a ridiculous or a funny statement because he likes to joke around a lot. I don't laugh at the situation, and I never have. Like,
if I was on that channel last night on that live stream, I would have done my very best to stick up for Glory and Dylan. Out of everybody, she deserves the most respect too for what she did.
I think we should let Glory speak on that because Glory did
I felt support from Black Dove that night, and as far as him going, and he doesn't go out and talk to the people themselves. He's like a data analyst. He takes the pieces that other people gather and he examines them and he puts them together, doing timelines and putting all the pieces together and making a pattern out of it. And it's a different approach, and it's a different skill set, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's merits in different approaches, and people bring different things to the table that way, and you're stronger for having lots of people with those different skills.
You're right. We all play our role. We all do our little corner, do what we can, and we contribute that to the community. But this dude goes on the same channel who starts all these fires, accuses people who are not really involved and calls it facts. And then Black Dove,
I do that or he does that?
is over there. Black Dove is over there entertaining.
About Black Dove, Mike?
I mean, I'm not entertaining ridiculous theories, I don't think, anyway.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I'm confused. Mike, are you speaking about Black Dove going on all these panels and starting fires, or I'm just confused? Just clarify, please.
So you have a very smart guy like Black Dove. He's very intelligent, but when he bounces from panel to panel to panel, but then ends up over at Doug's live stream at the very end and wants to laugh and joke about things that are not facts. I mean, come on. Which side are you really on, Black Dove?
I'm not on anybody's side except Dylan's.
I'm going to say this, Black Dove, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off right now. There is one side, Mike, and I've said this to you before. Whose side do you think that is? There's one, just one. Who do you think that is? It's Dylan's. There's no other side. There's Dylan Rounds' side.
Dylan's side is looking into all possibilities, not just one possibility.
Right. As long as you keep that in the forefront of your mind, if people skip around and collect different information from different channels or different theories or whatever, as long as you keep the fact that Dylan Rounds is the one that is a victim that is missing, and that is that person's goal, then I see no harm, no foul.
I agree.
Well, that's also kind of why when... Go ahead.
Oh, I've been less than enchanted with Doug for a while, but he's put out some good content regarding Dylan, and so I've been over there watching. I can't say that I've been feeling tempted the last couple of days, and probably won't be in future. But I was more interested in finding out what does Ty have to say? What does this person here have to say?
What does Don Hatley know?
That's what I would look
That's
at.
a pretty big
What
question.
does Ed know? What does
That's
Ed
another
know?
good question. That's a very good question.
How come nobody is pressing Ed?
Well, maybe we can.
Nobody's heard him.
No, I want to press Ed. And I see all of you, everybody's piping up right now because we all know that Ed has been mentioned numerous times.
That's your missing link. There's your
I
missing
feel like,
link right
I
there.
feel like it's one of them. I feel like the other missing link is Don or Dan Iverson, which I reached out to him. I wanted to interview him, and he responded back and said, "I'm sorry, I do not do interviews." This is the man that was giving Dylan big checks. This is the guy that paid Kurt for some stuff. He definitely knows Dylan. He
This
definitely knows what was
this is the
going on in
guy.
Dylan's
This
life,
is
and
the
he
guy,
will not
Jess.
speak to anyone.
This is the guy who hired Dylan to come out there.
Right?
This is
For
the guy.
welding. For
This is the guy
welding.
who convinced Dylan to buy the land. But nobody wants to press him. Nobody wants to go after him and interview him.
And you
There's
know
something-
what?
There's
The
your
people
missing
that
link
know
right there.
him, they get, when I press them about him, they backpedal every single time, Mike.
And why is
No.
that?
Wait,
Why is that?
Salty. Can I ask Salty
You
a question
tell
about
me.
that?
Yep.
Hold
go
on.
ahead.
I actually want to bring something up because in your interview with Kurt, you said to Kurt, "Well, that's the guy we need to be talking to." And
And
Kurt's
what did
like,
Kurt say?
True.
What did
he
Kurt say?
backed away from it. He backpedaled
That's right.
immediately.
That's right.
He's
Because
like, "What? No, no,
Backpedal
you don't
every
need to
single
talk to me."
time.
that's right. So there's your missing link.
Yep. And also, let's not forget Dan Iverson. He is a big piece of this puzzle. He was giving out large sums of money. He knows a lot, and he is refusing any interview whatsoever. I've already reached out to him. He will not talk. Ed, Mike, if you get a hold of Ed, I would love to hear about it.
Oh, I can already tell you.
He
Ed's-
seems
Ed-
unreachable. to
Ed
me.
has said if he is pressed or if he is interviewed, he is going to spill the real dirt on Candice and the rounds because there is some
Then
dark
let's do
stuff. But we should, as a community, we should.
We should. Again, if we can get Ed to talk, which he's been a person of go ahead.
I don't
Cynthia.
want to talk about Candice or the rounds because I don't think that they have anything to do with this. So that's not even something that I want to
Well,
talk about.
let me correct you, if and not in a negative way. I was told if they pressed Ed and they questioned Ed, then he is going to spill the real beans to what's going on.
I believe that's true, Synthia. I do. From everything that we know backstage.
And you ladies
Ed's
know,
name is
you ladies know from
continually brought
backstage
up.
conversations that that's what's going to happen.
But again, we are talking about this on a live panel openly. Love to hear from Ed.
And we should talk about it openly to everybody. There's nothing to hide between us.
No, I really don't have. Well, some things I guess that I keep to the chest, but Ed is definitely a person that I would love to talk to.
Me and you
also
both.
Dan Iverson, but Dan will not do an interview. So
No, because they have something to hide.
yeah, there's something really sketchy with those two men. From what I understand, Ed, James Brenner was working for Ed, was doing like these little jobs. That's how he was getting paid. Ed owned the land to the grain shed that Dylan was renting. So here you have this conflict. Ed is known by every one of these four men. And by four men, I mean Dylan, I mean Jim, I mean Don, and I mean Kurt. Every single one of them know him. But when you ask about him, they backpedal quickly.
You're damn right.
I know.
So who is this Ed character? What's his involvement, and why won't he be interviewed or even questioned?
Yeah. And why is he so protected?
Does Ed own the land off of paper or what? Because when I looked up the records, Ed's name was not on it. So I'm
Ed
trying
is
to.
the original. Ed is the original guy who brought Dylan out there.
Yes.
Okay.
He was the person that originally owned that land, and he couldn't do anything with it. Dylan picked his brain. Dylan had a more analytical mind where he was looking at the soil and stuff. Ed seemed to get, from what I have heard, Mike, you may have heard the same things.
You might as well
but-
just tell these people the truth, Jess.
well, let's do it. Because, you know, what it is that Dylan picked Ed's brain. And Dylan was trying to change that land, and he was. And Ed wasn't happy about that, was he, Mike?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Nope. Not happy. Who is Ed connected to, Mike? Every one of them, correct?
Yeah.
And who was also not happy with Dylan? Every one of them. Mike, yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. There you have
Yep.
it.
There you have it. Take that to the bank.
Take it to the bank. Cash it in.
Take it to the bank and cash that check.
Yep. So again, there are people that the public does not really even know about. They have maybe heard their name in passing, but they do not know how important these people are to this young man.
Well, you got to be careful because then our content is going to be used by other people.
I know. which is giving me a little bit of heebie-jeebie of how openly we're discussing this right now. But at the same time, this chat and the people in this chat, there are people in here that have seriously been following this case. They're not about the drama. They do want the facts. They do want to dig further. And law enforcement can dismiss social media. But I can tell you, just from firsthand knowledge, that when social media, especially YouTube, gets involved, there will be no stone unturned. And every single one of my sources that I had from the beginning, a week, 2 weeks into this case, I explained that to them. Once YouTube picks this up, there will be no stone unturned. So whatever has happened in your family or surrounding or whatever, expect to hear it on YouTube because it'll happen.
Oh, it's going to happen now
And
that
it's happening.
We've exposed the other player.
Yep.
Well, which one, Ed Harshberger or Dan Iverson?
Both.
Absolutely both.
Well, because
Absolutely both.
when Kurt said in his interview that Dylan was talking money with Dan Iverson at the bar, and Kurt says that Tom Hardy, was it Tom Hardy that he said was listening in?
Yes.
I think it was. I was like, well, who's Dan Iverson? And why is he talking money with Dylan? But I guess that's also the guy whose pivot Dylan went to go deliver a part for the day before he went missing, I think it was.
Yep.
So I was like, well, he would be interesting to talk to since he's one of the last people to see Dylan. And everybody wants to know more about Ed Harshberger. That's been a name that's out there for a long time.
Yep.
Well,
Dan Iverson was
they
never
should
heard of
start
until
looking
Kurt.
into Ed. There's your key player right there.
I agree. He's
One of them. And the second one is Dan.
You think Kurt knows everything. Wait till you hear what Ed has to say.
Exactly. and we would like to hear that.
Well, fuck, we
well, I
can't.
mean, we only
And we can't, and that's the thing. Mike, you know this as well as I do. I've had people that are very close to this case that have said, Jess, you know, get this person to talk. I cannot. Why?
I agree. I don't
Because
know.
other people have talked extensively but there's two people that will not talk.
Yep, and
Dan
it's usually the
Iverson,
guilty
who was
ones.
giving Dylan big checks, and Ed. So do some math there.
I think we've said too much.
I don't. Because I think you and I could say a whole lot more, quite frankly. And
Hey,
you
you're right
laugh
about that.
because you know I'm right.
I know you're
but
right.
Vindicate me, Mike.
I'm trying to
Vindicate me.
vindicate you. I know
Black
you're right.
Dog, if you don't defend me right now, I swear to God, you know what? I am going to put up a $500 bounty for anybody that can find Black Dove's identity. Synthia, am I banned from your channel or no?
No. I just
You
don't know
know
how
I'm
to
joking.
live
You know
anymore.
I'm
You know,
joking.
stick to making like videos or something. It gets awkward.
I have to joke.
I'm
Just
like,
such a
yeah,
heavy
it's-
topic.
I don't like the drama either. So I'm just like,
No, I know.
it got heated for a moment there and it made me feel really uncomfortable. And I promised Black Dove that wouldn't happen. So,
Well, it's
no,
not that.
Black, I hope you sincerely understand. Like, I am not hunting you down. Your identity does intrigue me, but I don't care enough about it to. I'm focused on Dylan, so I just find you as an analytical mind that is interested in the case. I really don't care where you're from.
Well, I
you
kind of got
are,
sucked
what you're
into this
doing.
too.
I don't care. Okay, so
Like
We
it's
all
very
got sucked into this.
yeah, but I'm talking about like going up on panels and stuff because I was just frustrated after watching like I don't know, probably a week of coverage of the whole thing a long time ago now. And Tyler opened up the StreamYard thing. I'm like, oh, I don't know how to use this, but I figured it out. So I went up on his panel and asked questions. And then Doug had me up like right after that show because everybody from Tyler's went over to Doug's. And I asked basically the same questions, and Jim Terry was on there. And I talked to him. But then after that, I never really asked to go on anybody's panels. I'll say like literally one comment in chat, and people are like, put him on the panel. And I'm like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Every time I see you in chat, I always want to bring you up because you're a good person to talk to. You take in a lot of things. You're never disrespectful to anyone, not me, Synthia, Glory, Salty. So why not? I feel like you're an asset, not a liability. And there are people in this case that are definitely liabilities. I don't believe that you're one of them. So that's that.
Well, that's you just hit the nail right in the head with why I don't want to do backdoor dealings, and like the extent of my private communications regarding this have basically been me telling a couple of people, including you, what my specific theory is, and that, maybe somebody should look into that behind closed doors or whatever, like tell law enforcement. I guess somebody did forward my theory to the cops or whatever. And that's fine.
Didn't actually tell me your theory. You said that you wouldn't, and I respected it.
What? No, I thought I did in an email.
Did you? Did I miss the email?
I don't know. Maybe you deleted that one or
Maybe
something.
I did. If I did, I'm like searching for it now. Yeah, yeah.
Well, next time you go on live with Doug, please mention that I would love to call in.
Why?
Okay. I mean,
Because I have no problem bullying the bully.
Oh man.
Interesting pay-per-view.
I was just going to say,
Doug should make that a members only, so you have to like pay for the WWE. But I feel like the case itself should be free to the public, as our justice system is. And strong minds and research minds and people minds and behavioral analysis minds these are the people I absolutely adore this panel for 5 different reasons. Because every one of us are different, but with all the same goal. It's Dylan. And I'm not going to besmirch other channels because I really do not enjoy the drama. I like to joke and carry about, but you know, screaming, cussing, caring about all that stuff, I'm just not interested. I'd much rather hear from Synthia, who does insane, great research, or myself, who has talked to all of the people in this case, or Glory, that has shown up at the actual court things, or Mike, who has been to Montello and inside of the bars, or Black Dove, who has a crazy analytical mind. Those are the people I want to hear from. Agree or disagree, whatever. I don't care.
And you got to give it up to Black Dove. He's done his research. He connects the timelines.
Well, I mean, all I really do is listen carefully and look for discrepancies. That's basically it.
And I can understand why you don't like talking with people like behind the scenes, because it kind of can contaminate your, do you get what I'm saying? Like it can.
I wouldn't necessarily call it contaminating.
So it seems like
no, I did offer something to Black Dove that was
talk. Hey Jess, I was talking.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You talk over me a lot.
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I just feel as though Black Dove has kind of explored all things and has tried to remain neutral.
But how many times have you been behind the scenes and talked to people, Synthia?
I've been there for a lot of it, for sure.
But and you know more than what these people know more than, correct?
What people? Who are you referring to?
Well, other channels.
Absolutely.
You have a better insight to what's really taking place, correct?
I feel I do. Like I said earlier, we've talked with a lot of people, including people you've talked with, and I just have my own separate opinion. And
so backdoor conversations is not a bad thing. It could maybe be a better thing to some insight.
Well, I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I'm not going to disagree with that, but I feel like, or I think, I hate saying I feel. That's actually a really terrible thing to say.
Why?
Well, because if you feel something, that's no. I mean, like when I mean to say I think this or I believe that. If I say I feel, that's emotional. So it's that's just a pet peeve of mine when people say the word feel instead of think. And
not a big deal.
I meant to say think. So, so I just did it myself and caught myself. But, yeah, it could be potentially beneficial to go backdoor dealings and talk to all these people privately. But then I also think that maybe it could be detrimental too. And I'd rather there's
nothing detrimental than knowing the truth. Black Dove.
No, I'm not saying about knowing the truth. I'm saying, like, what if somebody tells you something that's going to poison the case? You know, something along those lines is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like, oh, I'm going to figure out what's really true and what's not. I'm talking about like somebody says some hearsay or something that just screws everything up. And it's done in private. And then you're kind of the guy who screwed everything up. And I don't want to be that guy.
But it's not screwing it up if you know the truth. All you're doing is sharing your awareness about the truth. The only thing that's screwing it up is everybody else's narrative.
Well, just because somebody tells you something privately doesn't mean that it's true or that it's not disinfo specifically designed to taint something. That's my concern right there.
Everybody who calls on these live streams can screw things up.
This conversation.
Well, we love you
too, but there's like thousands of people hearing it when people call in and spread BS theories and disinfo, and you know, you can kind of laugh some of them off. But then sometimes people call in and they have some good ideas or some good intel, and then it comes to the fore, and hopefully the people actually doing the investigation will hear that if it's relevant and do something with it, rather than having it, you know, potentially screw things up behind the scenes. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be the guy who screws something up by talking to somebody behind the scenes. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, congratulations. You just screwed everything up for everybody.
No,
That's
congratulations.
what I don't want to do.
Congratulations for you knowing the truth and then trying to bring that awareness to everybody. You should do that.
I'll just say this, Black. The person that wanted to speak to you wasn't seeking information from you. They wanted to give it to you.
Yeah, I get that.
And you had a very relevant response, which was, why me? I'm no one. Why did they want to tell me?
Yeah, why wouldn't they tell you instead?
And I quoted them back to you. That they felt like you want to know, but that
Well, I do want to know what's true.
Wrong.
Who's
Well,
wrong?
You should want to know the truth without being groomed by a narrative.
How do I know that's not what's going to happen?
No, I was actually going to say that you know, again, the offer's still open. You want to talk to this person, I will put you in contact with them. But
if they have actionable info, shouldn't they be contacting law enforcement directly?
I told you before, connect the dots, keep an open mind, do that, keep doing what you're doing. Yeah.
But if this person has something so earth-shattering, why don't they contact the cops or the feds?
Well, maybe they already have, and maybe they're trying to contact you.
Law enforcement wouldn't take them as credible, so, or that's what I saw them say.
Even the feds in a case that's this convoluted and messed up right now?
What feds? Doug said last night there is no feds, remember? They're not the lead.
There's definitely feds.
They're not the lead.
There is definitely feds.
I will promise you that. Salty, you dropped his first name.
That's right. So how would I know that? How would I even know that?
Both. So when I seen you say that, I was like, well, he's definitely talked to the FBI.
You're damn right.
The agent's name.
You're damn right. How would I even know that?
No, I know you know that. We have not spoke about that. And when I seen your video and I seen you drop the first name, I was like, well, he's definitely talked to them.
You're damn right I have.
Yep.
Can you ask him whether or not using more ground penetrating radar?
Is Doug.
No, I'm not asking why you talked to them. I just, by the first name, I knew that you had, because I know the whole name, and that was definitely the first name. So
yeah, so you know, I'm telling the truth.
Huh? What, Mike?
I said so. You're well aware I'm telling the truth.
Oh, extremely aware. Like very, very aware. And I'm not the only one, so.
But I know people who hasn't told the truth.
I like I said, I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I got a phone call today, and I do not know if this was because somebody's mad at this person, whatever, but it's actually not the first person that has said this to me, but they are skeptical of Ty Corbin. So I'm questioning, are you angry at Doug? Are you angry at Ty? Why are you saying this? Do I need to look into this more? I don't know.
I'm not. I don't think it's because I'm angry with Doug. I think if he wants to poke at me, I'm definitely going to poke back at him.
You're not even the one that said this to me.
Right. I'm not intimidated by this dude.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about you. It's not anybody on this panel. But it's just the person that said this to me. You know, they were very curious about Ty Corbin,
and they should be.
Is there echo for me, guys? Synthia?
I do hear an echo. I just wasn't sure where it was coming from.
Yeah, Grandma's asking me, is it still coming or no?
I just cracked open a beer, by the way. You guys are driving me to drink.
Enjoy that beer. Hey, have 3
You
or
have
4
to
of them.
love her. Do you guys not love this person? Like, she's just so, like, I'm trying to tell you guys, I have done my YouTube channel completely by myself. And with this case, I met Synthia. And I was like, holy crap. I feel like I've met my perfect match. Like, I'm good with people and she's good with research. Holy crap, I can't speak. I'm excited. But it was just like, wow. If you've ever launched a YouTube channel and tried to do something like that, you will understand how important it is to sort of have a backstage or a person that works with you. And when I've done this on my own, and Salty, I'm gonna sing your praises here, because your clip videos, if you guys hate Doug, love Doug, I don't really care. I'm talking about Salty's just editing skills. Like, I have to give you props because it was really good. Like, I would actually hire you to, if
Well,
I don't
Salty
have
has
to
been
go
Salty
live
has been
and
doing
I
this for
can
years.
take videos and hire you to edit them, I will pay you. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo.
Yeah, no, I could tell. I like when I seen your videos, I was like, holy shit. This guy is not only a numbers guy, this guy, that guy, he also is very savvy with computers. Like, extremely
No,
savvy.
it's actually not computers. I'm doing this from my phone. I've made every
What
single video from my
software do
phone.
you use?
I use some free app.
What is it?
I use a free app.
The pre-app?
No, a free app. I use a free app.
Well,
I make all these videos from my
send
phone.
me a link?
I don't use a computer. It's all been done from my phone.
I always use my laptop.
Could you make a YouTube
So,
group
like,
on your phone?
I bought software. It drives me insane. You do such great videos. Please send me the link. You have my number. Send me the link, please. Because I was just impressed with your editing and all of that. I was cracking up. So, whatever you think, you might hate Mike or Salty or whatever. You might love him. I don't know. I just thought the editing on his trolling videos was pretty epic. So I would like the link.
Absolutely. I use a free app. It's not a template made app. It takes a lot of editing skills, but to be honest, I've been doing this for years. I run a company that does social media advertising. This is our specialty. We make videos for businesses to advertise on
My
social
man,
media.
we just became best friends within that sense. So, if you guys don't know, and I'm sure you do, Salty does have his own channel. So does Glory. Obviously, Synthia, we're on her channel. But Salty does have his own channel. If you have not watched his trolling videos, if you want a good laugh, view them.
But I got to get off. My phone's at 5%.
All right.
Black Dove, much respect to you and what you do.
Thank
Synthia,
you.
much respect to you and what you do. Jess, Gloria Dellin, I think you all play a pivotal role in what you do. And if we all come together as a collective, we could probably be the best team out there.
Yeah, I absolutely love this panel.
And this goes for all the other channels.
Yep.
Zab Girl, Doug. I just think if we stay away from the drama, we could be a better team.
Yeah, I'm all for staying away from drama.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm glad we're all leaving this on a high note.
Yep.
So the high note, I love you, Black Dove. I love you, Synthia, Jess, Gloria Dellen. I love everybody. I love everybody in chat. Have a good night, and I gotta get to bed. I got a long day tomorrow. Gloria and Dellen, if you want to come out, reach out to me.
Yeah, you two definitely go out and bring us back the boots on the ground.
Yes, I got your phone number. I'll reach out to you.
Send me a text and we'll work things out.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
All right,
good evening.
bye,
and
Mike.
Thank you for coming here.
see
So
you tomorrow. Absolutely. See you later.
do you guys
Okay.
want to continue to chat, or should we end it?
Up to
I
you.
just wanted
You're
to
definitely the
bring
host.
up that Jim Brenner has a couple of hearings on Monday. They're for his one is for the assault and where he beat the guy with the aluminum chair, and the other one I think is the weapons charge, and it's at 11:15. It's going to be available through WebEx. I thought today was Thursday, so I thought, well, I'll get the stuff so that I can post links to for anybody who wants to tune in. But it's Friday, the court's closed, so I'll have to do that Monday morning. The second one is third degree felony, 3 counts on purchase / transaction or possession of use of a firearm by a restricted person. So those 2 hearings are at the same time on Monday in Box Elder County, available through WebEx. So it's going to be a virtual hearing, nothing for me to drive to. So I will tune in on the computer. And anybody else, I will be posting a link once I have the information for that.
I think I'll check that out with you. So I'll be looking for that link.
Okay.
So I think that we'll probably just end the live here. I'm glad everything was left on a high note.
Yes.
Yeah. For me, it was intense. I don't know about for any of you guys. And I'm like, I've heard that if you drink beer out of a straw, you get drunk quicker. So that's where I'm at right now.
I'm definitely not gonna lie. I have definitely drank some bourbon. It's Friday, so cheers.
Exactly.
I'm a middle-aged woman, so I feel like that's kind of what we do. I don't know. There's like no rule book on this shit. So I'm winging it. I've been winging it for 20 damn years. I'm winging it now. But I'm happy. I'm just sitting in my house talking about this case with you group of great people. Even though we are talking about a really sad and dark subject, I prefer to be surrounded with people like you.
I agree. It's a comfort having you guys to talk to about this, because sometimes it's just too much. If we know so much about the case, and if there's no one else to talk, like my husband, he knows nothing about this. I mean, other than what I've told him, but otherwise he just kind of waves me off, like whatever. Like he's not
Tyler too.
I am. So I have you guys to talk to about this, and it's a comfort. You guys have been a comfort to me.
Yeah, Synthia, you're like my biggest comfort. Glory, like probably second biggest. Black Dove, we don't talk on the phone. It's not your preferred method. I wish you would change your opinion, please, for the love of God. But either way, you're probably not, so whatever. We'll just email it back and forth. But you guys are really all my preferred methods of talking. I feel like the public is so hungry for information, and I know especially that me and Synthia have it. Glory too, Black Dove with his analytical mind too. But it's just it's a balancing act, you guys. Do we want to become a drama channel, Do we want to start to combat all of these things, put out conspiracy theories, things like that? No. No, we don't. We will discuss things, but we have to make it clear that, the people that we're discussing have not been arrested, are not in jail, or are in jail, but are not being named as official suspects, etc., etc. And I think really in this case, what I have been seeing is don't kill the messenger.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And for all of us, each of us have kind of experienced that. Like sometimes people in the comments, mean people will come in that aren't, regulars, and they'll say rude things if they don't agree with it. And, sometimes it's other YouTube channels that like to be mean, but and then sometimes it's even
the messenger is not an easy position to be in.
Yeah.
Because it's like everyone wants to know what you know,
Mm-hmm.
but you know that everyone doesn't need to know what you know.
Yeah.
And so it's picking and choosing, what do I say? What do I not say? And it's, for me, it feels like I feel persecuted for what I do say or bring forth and what I don't simultaneously. And it's conflicting for me.
Well, sometimes you feel like you're in a no-win situation because somebody's going to be unhappy.
Yeah. And there's always people unhappy that you didn't do this the right way, or you didn't ask this the right way. And Jim Terry didn't call me this morning for no reason. Black Dove, Jim, hi again. Hi, Jim. But what he said about you was, and again, Jim, I told you long ago to record your conversations, but he was like, Black Dove, he, everybody likes him because he's a gay guy, and he agrees with everything. And I was like, well, maybe people just agree with him because he's not a dick. Maybe that's why.
Wait, he said I agree with everybody else, or everybody agrees with me? Because I don't agree with everybody.
Everyone agrees with you because you're gay, and
I didn't know that was
because
a
you
thing.
just go along and don't say anything.
But that's not entirely true, and I've defended him at multiple occasions when I thought it was justified. Same with everybody else. Like, I don't know. Wait, he called you to talk about me?
No.
Oh.
He called me to definitely talk about this case, but you were brought up. It's just we had about an hour-long conversation this morning. He woke me up, which I was pretty pissed off about. But either way, I opened my eye, and here's Jim Terry, and I was like, "What, Jim?" And he was like, "Don't hang up, just listen." And I was like, "What?" So we went into Aiden Clune case, which I told Synthia a while ago that we really need to pursue. And Jim was like, he was like, I don't know why everybody's after the Dylan Rounds case. I was like, well, I do. But he was like, I don't. And he was like, because Aiden Clune's case is so much crazier. And I'm like, okay. But either way, no, he surmises what he surmises.
Well, I thought Aiden Clune's backstory might have been weird, but I thought like his actual disappearance was pretty straightforward. They changed his medication, and it like messed him up, and he wandered into the woods and succumbed to the elements or something.
Yeah, I've never felt he was involved.
But
with
if he did,
parallels.
If he did succumb to the elements, there would be some trace.
You'd think so. He kind of did just disappear after 9 miles of tracking, right?
There would still be some trace somewhere. Even where if animals, rip them apart, etc., there would be blood droppings, there would be bone fragments here and there. They eat a lot, but they don't eat everything.
Well, and
So
they've studied animal predation habits at the body farm, and they've got them in different regions so that they know how things are in different types of environment, and they know that bits of clothing and hair are going to get carried off to make some nest for a rodent, and so they study the patterns, so when they go out into the real world to look, they can go, okay, we need to start looking over here and there, because this is where the evidence is going to be. It's going to be up in the trees over your head. It's going to be in that gopher hole over there. It's, there's going to be evidence, which it isn't just the bones.
Well, it reminds me of Brandon Lawson that went missing in 2013, I think it was. And it was in Texas, kind of like deserty, maybe similar to Utah. I haven't been to Utah. Is it similar, do you think, Glorendellen? The beer city.
Which area?
Is Texas, like Texas desert, similar to Utah? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it, you would never know the difference.
Yeah. So Brandon Lawson, he went missing, and I think it was like he was just recently found, but he was only like 1.25 miles from the area of his truck, which is where they presumed he last was. And it was just bones left, but they searched that area high and low several times, over and over and over again. So was he placed there later? I have no idea, but either way, it's a possibility that some people just aren't found, even though it's searched. So maybe Aiden is out there.
Yeah. Well, my experience in reading about these bodies found out in the desert is they'll be searching all around, and then months later it'll turn up 20 feet from where they were. There was a case when I was down in southern Utah, and this family had some problems with their truck, and it died out in the sticks. And so the father got out and started walking for help, and it's wintertime. And they found the mother and the child huddled in the truck, but they couldn't find the man, and they had search and rescue out looking for him, and they looked for weeks and couldn't find him. And like 10 months later, they found him, 30 feet away from one spot they had been, on the edge of this farm, and he was there the whole time. But it's you get so much stuff like, I mean, he curled up under a tree for shelter, and he was obscured from view, and it wasn't until somebody happened to be at the right angle to spot that he was discovered. So it's so often the time with these bodies in the desert that it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time and looking at the right angle, because otherwise you'll miss it.
Yeah, it's true. It happens often in missing persons cases. I was just going to ask Jess if she's still here. Jess, can you hear us?
Is she frozen? Oh,
she's frozen, I think. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that we're probably going to end the live now, just because my family is kind of downstairs waiting for me, and we've been on for almost 3 hours now. I've really enjoyed spending time with you guys and listening. After like the intenseness, everyone came back together, and that feels good. So I'm just glad that everything's good between all of us. And Jess is gone now. Well, you guys have a good night. Thank you both for
Okay.
coming on.
All right. Well,
I'm sure we'll talk soon
Yeah.
on the phone. So are you there, Black Dove?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you for having me up.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.